Right. Well, guys, I am alive. I'll just wait a few minutes and hopefully people will start coming in. Oh, no one's watching yet. We've got someone watching. I'll take this off. I'm getting hot now. Hello, people. Don't forget to hit the smash button, like button. Hey, Jess. Oh, here's trouble. Look out. Bloody hell. Yep. I got a parcel I'm going to open, but I'll wait for a bit longer. I was up your way, well, up in Queensland back in March for 2 weeks. But I'm coming up again in May. So look out. I got a parcel. Course, I invented it. Oh, I thought it might have been because it fell off and broke. You make me laugh, Jess. I'm in the she shed. We got Alex. Hey, Alex.
Laughing about the thing with the bit at the end, the joke.
Oh dear. How you going?
Not too bad until this morning. What happened is I get a message from somebody who I don't know on Facebook Messenger informing me that the person that I'm supposed to be dealing with for phones or whatever has been basically scamming people. But I never knew nothing about it until I get informed there that he's took money off of somebody. So I went like that. I thought, and you know me, I'm one of these people that I don't. And as soon as I hear that, I get upset because I'm like, I don't agree in that. If you buy something for somebody, they should forward it on. Why should they take the money, no send you the goods, and then block you? And a lot of that happens on Facebook. It's happened more recently than anything else. So I just went like that. I went like that. Here, there's all the guys' details and all the rest. There it's there. Do what you have to do with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want involved in it. I don't want involved in it because it's incriminating me, because he's obviously, if he's been doing this for a long time and I've been buying stuff off him, it means then that he's been selling it, no sending it, still having it, and then selling it on to me. So it makes me look like I'm involved in it all. No. No chance. No danger.
Yeah, Jess, I haven't spoken to Chopper in a while.
I do have legal and above board, but it's no coin related. It's more phones.
Oh god.
I've got boxes. It's not been open since last year, and that's because the room isn't. But the thing is, Shauna, the room isn't big enough, and it means then I'm putting it in another room, and I knew straight away as soon as I started putting it in another room, it would end up. My mum would just go absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't want to really upset her. I didn't want to upset her. So that's why I kind of get the comments to them. Yeah, I can. I've got it.
Yeah.
It's taking its time.
Yeah.
It's because my Chromebooks wanted to update, and in June I might have to end up buying another Chromebook because I've been told that Google is not going to give me something about the apps and the updates or something, because the Chromebook, the model's discontinued. They've discontinued the model. So I need to end up thinking I might end up having to buy another one.
No, Jess, I haven't actually spoken to him. Hey, God. I caught your video the other day.
I didn't notice the chat as in saying we talking about Chopper. Chopper's had a few videos on lately. Chopper.
Okay.
Sometimes I take time. Sometimes I tend to shut myself off. I shut myself off for YouTube, and I end up go into my own wee world. When I go into my own wee world, it's not that I don't want to be bothered by anybody. I just want to be able to get on with things because I'm stacked up. But it's like I bought like 7 boxes. I've bought like about 5-6 boxes off the same guy. This is the guy I'm telling you about. I've just found out today, and I'm like, how do I deal with that? And I was like, well, I don't want involved. But then I told the guy, just send the cops to his door. Maybe he'll think twice about doing it again, because it gives. See if you're an independent trader, it gives everybody a bad name, because if they think that one person's like that, they think everybody else is the same. So that's what puts people off buying second-hand goods, because they're like, well, if he's doing it, then everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not fair. That's not fair tarring everybody with the same brush. It's like going into a relationship and you have a bad relationship, and the person is weary about everybody, and they want to go back into another relationship, but because they've been hurt before by another person, they tar everybody with the same brush. So I sort of get it. what you've
hopefully
been,
his car
well,
will be
what
back
is,
on track again soon.
so what have you been up to lately?
This weekend I've been babysitting. So my little grandson's in bed asleep, so I thought I'll jump on here before it gets too late. Here at 10:46. I think that's the right time.
Were you in holiday lately, or were you just getting a flight back to where you were staying?
Yeah, I went up to Queensland back in March, 8th of March, for a couple of weeks. And I took my partner's ashes, Steve. He was
Right.
living with us down here in Tasman. He passed away 21st of November last year.
I
So I
know,
took his ashes back to his family.
because you were having a hard
But I'm
time.
going up again.
You were sort of having a hard time with it, weren't you? As in you got emotional, didn't you? You got emotional
Yeah,
and stuff like that, didn't you, for a while?
yeah, yeah.
I sort of
That
been
was the
watching
day
you
I
on
lost
Facebook.
him.
I sort of watching you on Facebook because I get all the. If you say, for instance, you put a notification on something on your timeline, I get it. I actually see it.
Yeah,
So I know what's happening on Facebook because I tend to
yeah.
because I spend most of my time either between YouTube or Facebook, and a lot of the videos as in that I watch as on Facebook as well. So sometimes you see a person that you know live on YouTube is then live on Facebook, but I don't know how that works. How you broadcast it between two? Don't know how it's done.
Yeah.
Because I don't really do YouTube to make money off it. I like to share I like sharing videos. I like showing what I'm up to from time to time. But I don't like it invading my personal space either. As in like because when you do it, as in it's like everybody's watching you. It's like as if you're now public domain, public notice for everybody else to see.
Yeah, well, that's
They're
it.
trying to, a lot of
Yeah.
them, like the trolls and that, what they do is they hunt for evidence to basically throw against you. So you sort of have to watch as in the way it goes.
Yeah.
It's not that I've got anything to hide. I just don't like bringing my personal problems into YouTube because the whole idea with YouTube was to have a bit of fun, have a bit of laughter with other people
Yeah.
that were similar and like-minded people. Because that's why I used to
Yeah.
like going to Hazy Daisies on a Sunday because it was a laugh and a carry on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Hazy Days had another live stream. As in it's called
I didn't
Struggle.
either until it came up on my feed.
I found it. I was watching a video and it was on his channel, as in Hazy Days channel, because I hadn't been getting notifications for YouTube about Hazy Days, even his videos are renting, and I happened to watch one, and it said about as in please join this channel such and such. All right, but I know who he's doing it with, as in that's a friend who's friendly with Musty One, VW Night and VW Nut. I know that channel. I watch that. I watch that channel very regular, as in VW Nut, because I watch a lot of Musty Ones. Because I used to watch Harvey Spooners, and then when I got into Harvey Spooners, it then gave me notifications for Musty One, and I was like, oh, I need to watch that. So I started watching that. But a lot, see, this is what people were like. Well, a lot of the bigger YouTubers don't bother with the smaller YouTubers, but not all of them do comment back. But some of them do comment back. I've had comments back from bigger channels like JC Smith, as in which is a bigger channel. I've had other ones for like salvage rebuilds where I've had like, as in, I put a comment to it and it's gave me like a love heart. And people's like, what? And people's like, well, bigger channels don't reply back to you. It depends how busy they are, because they've got so many followers or so many supporters. It's unreal. And trying to keep up with it, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work involved in it. People think,
yeah, for sure.
It's like we start, so you like start small, because that's what people forget. Like in YouTube, you start small and then you start to get to know people, and then you maybe put out gifts and whatever else, and people then start to recognise you, and then you start getting known in the community, and by the time you start bigger and bigger and bigger. But as you grow bigger and you're still putting out content, you're getting all these comments and you're having to reply to every one of them. And then people are like, but they don't ignore me. They don't respond to me. They don't respond because they're too that busy trying to get most of the comments done within a day to get on with the next video that they're actually planning or actually going to do.
Yeah.
Because people think, well, I'll make a living out of YouTube. It's not as easy as they think it is. People make it sound easy.
Yeah.
People make it sound easy. Or you just do a video and you'll get paid for it. And you get this much money for YouTube. But you have to have enough, you have to have a lot of followers for you to get paid good money for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one day, if and when I get the followers,
and as
I don't expect anything.
As YouTube grows bigger, they're going to start putting the money down further and further, as in what they pay out.
Yeah. It's just a hobby for me. I don't expect to make money off my channel. I ain't got the subs to do that anyway, so... And well, if I do get subs, well, I'm just as happy. I've gone past the 100 mark.
Sean, I was more frightened that they could actually remove us from YouTube, as in, like, say, for instance, the requirement says 1,000 followers. They've actually put it down. They've actually put 1,000 down to 500. As in, they've opened some of the community posts, because it's like one of people I used to talk to on Messenger, and he was telling me, he was like, Alex, he says, I'm not even where you are. And he kept on and on about it. And I said,
still got a long way to go.
I says, I'm not better than you. I says, I'm no better than you. So I try to get it into his head that I was no better than him. Right. And then all of a sudden, he turns around and says, oh, by the way, they've opened my community post. And I thought that's
hey, Mark.
I was like, this don't make sense to me. And then he was like, they put the how many supporters you actually need, as in down to 500. They've now opened the community post. And I was like, well done. I just went like that to him. I said, well done. It's like, well done. If that's what's happened, then good. Because I'm like, well, obviously the requirements, they put the requirements up so high, set them up so high. People have been complaining about it, and they've decided to change it, because that's what YouTube do. They tend to change every 6 months or a year. They change the goalposts anyway. But the only reason I wanted to get to, as in so that I had the tick mark for the 1,000, and I also had the tick mark for 4,000 watchers. But as I've tried to get there with the 4,000 watchers, I'm getting more and more frustrated myself, thinking, well, I can't reach this. How am I going to reach this? And it's made me then stress out. And then I got to a stage I was like, fuck it. Forget about the 4,000 watchers. If I get there, I get there, because it took me 3 years to get 1,000 anyway. So another 3 years no matter anyway. So that's the way I thought about it. I thought, well, obviously I can do something. There's something else I can do. Maybe set up something, a different idea altogether, and do that to reach the whatever. Because it's not really I want to be monetized. I just want to be able to have the the tick marks on like the check. There's like a check box in your account, and it's got a green tick where your 1,000 supporters, and then you've got the green tick for the 4,000 watchers. If I get that, then I'll be quite happy, because then I'll think, well, they can't then remove you. They can't remove an account if it's been approved and you've got the 2 green tick marks. They can't then close it for no reason. They have to have a reason to close your account down on you for. And I don't even know if they're allowed to do that without your authority, without your permission.
No.
So what's the weather like where you are?
We're just coming into early winter. Although not quite winter, but it's not far from it. Next month. So yeah, we had quite a warm day today. So
that's what you can see over here. It says blaring in the back.
Yeah, that's true, Mark. There's a link up there if you want to come on, Mark.
I know it's a free serve. I know it's a free. I know. I see what Mark's put. I understand it's a free serve. It's a free service, and we're not. I know we don't pay for it, but that's why a lot of people dies and started doing YouTube, because it was free, because it was a free service. They didn't have to pay for it.
You're welcome, Mark, anytime. And who says men can't multitask?
I can't.
Yeah, no. I did start doing a table for the table challenge, but we've been setting up the shed. I haven't had time to really do anything. We've got a whole heap of new toys in here now.
Nice one.
Yeah. Bandsaw. All them there.
So what you got to do then? So what you up to then? What's the plan?
Oh, cool. Yeah, so now that we've got nearly all the stuff we want, I can finish it off.
But what's the plan?
But I'll do a video of it. I did part 1 of it, but that's as far as I got.
What's the plan?
Hey?
What is the plan?
It's just one I come up with in my head, really. I'm not following no specific plan. I went and got all my timber for free from it's called Bunnings over here.
Right.
So yeah, whatever timber shop. Hello, Miss Muffet. My daughter's just coming in.
Sometimes when if I don't get a notification from YouTube saying Shauna's put a video out, then I don't know what's going on. So I haven't followed. It's not because I don't support your channel. I support that many channels. It's unreal. Yeah. But I tend to down my ads, and I might go off a one thing. I go I get like these phases where I go on something and then I go off something else, and then I'll start something totally different. Yeah. It's like the thing because
Bubba's good.
Because it's like that. Because it's like them, and everybody's like, well, why is he doing? He's doing coin. 1 minute he's doing coins, and then the next minute he's doing mobile phones. But mobile phones I did before I came to even YouTube. So I'm only going back to what I know better, because I went out my comfort zone, and I'm like, if I went out too much out my depths, which I don't know about, and I'm like, is it going to actually pay off? And then I'm like, well, if it's not paying off, then I might as well go back to something that was paying me money, or I was getting. I wouldn't say I was making money off the phones. I was buying them and putting them on eBay and getting rid of them. So it meant then I wasn't left with a full load of stuff.
Yeah.
So the room wasn't like a tip. To me, it's like a tip at the moment.
Okay, Bob.
So that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
To try and get rid of some of the stock.
Good luck for tomorrow, Bob.
It's like too much. Hi, Bianca.
Yeah, she's heading off to bed. Yeah, little man's in bed asleep. He's been in there since, nearly 7 o'clock. About 15, 20 minutes before 7 o'clock. I'm just waiting on Steve Punks to come on. Oh, it's your eyeball. I've been doing some casting. I did one. Oh, I'll mention it now. What I think of it.
Shona, can you tell me something? Is Natasha pregnant again?
Yeah, I think so.
I wasn't sure because the thing where I was like, I know she was pregnant before, but then I'm thinking maybe it's just old stuff as in coming up in the timeline, and I was a bit confused. I was like, don't know.
Remember that raffle I did when I was living in Queensland? And I think you won it, and then I gave it to Kate.
Aye.
The mug. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Look what turned up in the mail the other day. I sent that when I was still living in Queensland.
Where the hell did that come back?
I don't know.
Unless you had to pay duty on that, and she didn't pay the duty, and it's come back. Because if she had to pay money for that, as in to get that, then it means then that she didn't pick it up, and she's not paid the whatever they were going to charge her. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I bet you maybe that's what it's been.
Well,
because if it was the right address,
boxes you ticked.
Because if it was the right address, surely it wouldn't have came back.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have thought so. But it's got 2 boxes ticked: address incomplete and address unknown. So I don't know. Oh well. But I mean, that was sent back.
See, the reason I gave that away because do you remember all the carry on about it? As in because I'd won it, and then she goes, "Oh, I didn't get it." She broke something. She broke her other cup or something like that. And I says to you, just get it. I'm like that. See, somebody starts a carry on. I'm like, just give them it. Because I'm like, I don't really want the hassle, and I don't really want the drama between people, and especially if I support them in a certain way, I don't want, do you know what I mean? I just don't want conflict. It's not that I can't handle it. I just don't like it because it becomes as in he said, she said, and it ends up as in the people see it and they've then got to take sides, and I'm not into taking sides because it's like being piggy in the middle. You're friends with that person, you're friends with this person, but the two of them are arguing and you're in the middle of it and you're looking at the both of them like that and thinking, what the hell's going on here? But you don't know the full story. One's telling you one story, one's telling you another story, and you sort of try to get into the middle. Well, who's telling the full story to try and work out who's in the wrong? But then it could be a case that they're both in the wrong. And I did do a video. I did do a video, fun enough, and it was about two people, and there was a carry on, as in it came on Facebook Messenger, and I'm like, look, I don't want involved in this. And then I was like, but the phone call had come twice, and I declined the phone call. I was like, I don't want to talk to you because I don't want involved in it. And then I done a video on it, as in thing me saying that I didn't want it on my channel because I don't want drama on my channel. It's different, Sean. It's different if I cause the drama, then I deal with the consequences. But when it's somebody else's drama and you bring it to you, I don't want it involved in it because it means then I've got to pick sides of who's in the right and who's in the wrong. And that's what I said. I would rather take the two of their heads and bash the two of them together because the two of them are both in the wrong. And if they can't work out their differences, go their own separate ways and keep it that way. Don't come together and don't bring it into other people's channels because that's what a lot of things is aired on YouTube that shouldn't be aired on YouTube, but it does, and it causes nothing but as an hassle between a community because it can actually rip a community apart. I've seen it too many times.
Yeah. That actually was sent back to me on the 8th of the 12th, 2018. And here it is, 2022.
It took that long.
Crazy.
It must have been floating a bit. It must have been floating a bit that long.
Must have been floating in cyberspace.
Aye, the dark web, as they call it. Aye, dark web, all right. But at least you can let her know. By the way, that just do what he does, do a video and put whatever you want in the title. Mug came back. Please watch. And show Kate, look, there's the mug.
Yeah.
Do you want me to send it? Do you want me to send it to you? Look. Because it would be good to see. That's what a video's about, as in it explains something. Look, this is what happened to me. See, this is what I do. I don't do it on any channels. I don't do it about drama, about channels. I do it about sharing my experiences and my journey through YouTube. And it's never about as in to make a point and say that person's right or that person's wrong. It's always on something like as in what I've experienced, and I make it out that way because when I done the drama video or the one, it's not the last one. I done a live on the Saturday. It's about 2 videos back, and I didn't mention the names of who it was involving and who it was concerning, because I was like, well, this is what happens because you start mentioning names and then you start having them commenting or emails start coming back to you, and I was like, I don't want this carry on. I can't deal with this any longer on YouTube because to me, okay, drama sells on YouTube, but some people are not into this because it ends up, it carries on and carries on and carries on, and it can carry on for 6 months, a year, 2 years even, as in between two people.
I'm going to open this up. I was going to wait for Steve to come on, but he'll probably see this later. I did send him an email to say I'm going live. Oh, there's a note.
No, because you sent me on. See, the thing is, the reason why I told you to send it to my email address is because I have Facebook on the tablet. I don't have it in the Chromebook. So it meant then I can't go on it, and it means that I'm only working off an 8-inch screen. Don't like that. Don't like an 8-inch screen. Too wee.
This is what I got. It's a little sachet.
Nice one.
It's small. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so pretty.
That's nice.
They're earrings.
Uh-huh. But that for Steve.
Yeah.
They for Punk.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve.
Steve Punk.
Because you went. I watched the one where I watched the one where he had the fit or whatever, as in the one where he was going to go to the concert and he didn't go to the concert because obviously he had a blackout or whatever. He took a blackout or whatever.
Yeah.
So I watched that video.
Yeah, I've watched a few of his that he's done so far.
Because before Christmas I was on. Before Christmas I was on his stream a couple of times. See, that's the thing. If somebody changes their time, when they come on or whatever, as in to go on a panel or whatever, you sometimes miss that certain person. You go, ah, bugger, I've missed that one.
Yeah.
Because someone's keeping contact, even although Hazy Days stopped doing his live streams. Although that he's now on Struggle Street. But Struggle Street is no. Struggle Street isn't. It's like a collaboration, as in Struggle Street.
Hey, Johnny, you just missed me opening up my parcel I got from Punk Steve.
Hi, J5. Nice stones,
the pair of earrings.
The blue stones are nice stones.
Lovely. I'll send you some of the heat weather.
I don't know.
Anyway, this is me little note I got to Shauna. This is just a small gift in acknowledgement of your support. Sorry for the messy writing. I lost my favourite pen. Oh, God damn it, boy. Thank you, Steve. I really like them. They're really, really lovely.
Because I've got two pens that I got as giveaways on Lighty Collects, but I won't use them because they're actually Shauna, they're actually the body of them is like a metal, but they're really nice pens. There's like a blue. Yeah. I've got a blue one and I've got a red one. And cool. Bill the Till was asking for a pen, and Lol said about the cost of the postage. So on Saturday there, I gave a super chat, and she's saying there's £10 or whatever it was for as in postage, but it was for Bill to get one, because I was like, well, if Bill hasn't got one, as in because Lol's has got a different one. It's like a antibacterial, but it's like it's more plasticky. But the ones Lighty Collects ones, the first ones you get done, which he sent them to get this guy. It obviously done the sign writing or whatever, the vinyl writing on the pens, but they're actually metal. They're metal bodied, and I was like, well, I want Bill to get one of the metal, more the metal one than Lou's one, but it depends what was left, because I don't know how many was left, because when he showed the pens the last time, there was like a big bundle, the blue ones like that, at least about that, when he showed them. So I was like, well,
there's
obviously,
a link, Johnny, if you want to come in. Hey.
Because as it starts off with, you start off with, like, you think about, will I do a sticker for the channel? Then you end up thinking, well, is a sticker not enough to give away to somebody? and then you have other idea. You end up having all these other ideas, but then you start going, well, what about the postage? The postage cost? Because it depends.
Yeah, that's the killer.
The bigger it is, the postage cost gets dearer, and then you've got the zones, as in the different zones are different prices.
Well, this parcel that I sent that time to Kate, when she won the raffle, it was $34.90 Australian, not in Australian dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just getting sent from Brisbane to the UK.
Mm.
But it doesn't have a lot of weight to it.
Because I went to do that
Even
with
though I
John.
put gift and everything.
I done that with John. With June Gall, and they told me as in it was cheaper to send it in 2 boxes. So I split it and put it into 2 boxes.
Hello.
And what happened was I sent it and the address was slightly wrong. So they eventually sent the 2 boxes back, and then they turned around and says, well, if you put it a wee bit weird into a shoebox, it'll cost you less. So that's exactly what I done. Put it in a shoebox. Once the 2 boxes come back, put it into one, and then sent it to the right address the second time.
Alex, I've arrived. Shut up. How's it going? Hello.
Arrived where?
Look what I got from Steve Punk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're lovely. Yeah.
Just out for a spin.
All right. Yeah, I was going to open it when he came on, but it was getting to me. I needed doors. I wanted to see him.
I've gone a bit downtown. It's a bit rough around here.
Where's he going?
Ah, yeah.
Where is he going?
Well, even if I told you, you won't know. I've been to meet my local friendly drug dealer.
All right.
Hi.
You are, I'll tell you. Only the good stuff. I don't buy all else.
But the thing is, it's going to end up being legalised anyway. If the Americans have legalised it now, how long is it going to take the British to them to turn around and say they're going to legalise it?
Yeah, but I'll still buy it off a dealer. It'll still work out cheaper because they'll tax the shit out of it.
Exactly.
Still cheaper to get it off. I won't mind if they did the Willy Wonka chocolate patches chocolate over here. Then that's got weed in it.
Yeah,
that jelly
would be cool.
See jelly babies getting smashed up a jelly baby.
Because I'd done a video and I grassed myself on I grassed myself up on YouTube, and it was Texas Joe that put a comment to as in what flavour do you like, as in, and it was I'm like scratching my head and I'm thinking, what the hell is he on about? And then it clicked in my head because I said grass, weed.
Because
I'm like, what the hell is Texas Joe on about? And I'm like, I was going to turn around and put in a comment, what the hell are you on about? And then I just like started thought about it, and I was like, oh, hold on a minute. And then it clicked, the penny dropped in my head before I even done the comment. I thought, all right, I get it.
You're not allowed to touch your phone now in UK while you're driving, and I'm on a live.
Because when we say grass in the UK, it means to tell on yourself. To tell tales on yourself.
Oh,
No,
you're
'cause
all
I-
right. Yeah.
No, because I get fed up with people turning around and saying, "That's the coin, man. That's the coin, man." They're all asking me coin questions, and I'm like, some of them I couldn't. Some of the questions I can't answer. I can't answer unless I've actually seen it for my own self. That's when I go like that because I've got a bot. I'll show you.
Get
That
famous with coins at people.
That box is full of world coins, and every one of them's actually telling me what year it is and what country it is. So all I have to do is dig through that box. If somebody comes up and says, what's this country? I'm like, what is this country? Well, there it's there because it's on that box.
I don't want to look at it. I want to spend it.
Because I think I paid about 35 for that box.
I'm going to pick Keno up in a minute. She wants some sweets up.
But the thing is, if I pay $35, if I paid $35 over there, by the time I convert it, it's like £20 or something like that, and I'm like, £20 for that? It's well worth it. As in a full load of coins that's been sorted out, so I don't even have to. All I have to do is look up the prices on them because it's all done for me. This is 1981 or whatever, as in, and this is Mexico. So all I have to do is go into one of the numismatic sites or whatever, as in for world coins, and it'll tell me exactly what the price of that is.
Wake me up when you stop talking about coins.
I don't really do it. I only done it for content, as in with coins, because Dad had a love for auctions, and it was somebody that was shouting out, as in the curiosity to get the better of me, as in what this channel did at the time, and she was doing an auction, and that's what started the whole thing up again.
So God knows where. I've dug a big hole. I don't even know what I'm doing with it. It's either going to be a pond or somewhere to sit. I haven't decided yet. Oh, shit. Fucking things.
But Colin Fuzz done that. He put like a thing like a wheel or something like that in his garden, and then he decided that he was going to dig a hole or a tunnel, and he started excavating the tunnel, and it was like, well, I'm going to do it. And people seen the first video, Johnny, and people thought he was actually doing that's what they thought was a pond, and he's like, no, I'm not a pond. And then he started digging this, and the hole got deeper and deeper and deeper. And somebody turned around and says, well, what you did, you digging your way to Australia? And he laughed about it, as in thought it was funny.
I've done 3 foot down, Nick. Clay. It's clay 3 foot down in my garden. Proper, compacted clay.
I'm going to put it down lower.
Going any further. Oh, these fucking idiots walking around with masks on their own. They make me laugh. Who are you protecting yourself from? Your fucking self. Big bastard.
That is the amount of hours of driven.
You step back. Because said I need to step back from you because you need fucking change stupidity. What you done now?
I completed my driving hours. I can go for my provisional license.
Is that what you got to have a minimum of a certain amount of hours of learning to drive? Do it. That's it.
Yeah.
How many lessons I had before I got my driving test? 4? 4?
Huh?
4 lessons I had and took my test.
Yeah.
And I had 4 driving lessons.
I had a driving instructor.
I kind of figured out that I knew how to drive.
I had a driving instructor take the wheel off me. I had a driving instructor take the wheel off of me, saying that I was going to go into veer into 2 lanes. And telling me I done a lesson the following week, but I didn't feel comfortable after that. Didn't feel comfortable after that.
My instructor pulled up after an hour of driving with me and said, "How long have you been driving for?" I went, "What do you mean?" Says,
I'm
"Well, you've
all
got
right
good
with the
driving
driving
style for
when
a
it comes
start."
to the actual written test.
But this
You
is
get
the
away
funny
with it then.
part, right? I won't drive a car on the road, right? But I can drive a thing. I can drive a actual, not as nearly a Formula One go-kart, as in at full speed, as in at 100 odd mile an hour, run a track without any problems. As in, to me, at 120 or then 80 or 90 mile an hour, I want it to go faster, as in without bashing into anybody.
Oh god.
Because I don't know many times Jason said to me on a live on the chat, as in the banger car, Alec. She's dead banger car, and I was like, "Well, do you need a license?" And he's like, "No, you don't need a license."
The guys just cut me up. Friend.
Yeah.
Went through lights on red. Must be colourblind. Suppose this car can't do this run automatically. If it were Tesla,
that's why I'm glad my car's auto.
This is a brilliant car. Went up to Scotland, no bother. All the way around. I went through Cumbrian Mountains, Alex. Oh, nice. Beautiful place.
I nearly got T-boned here the other week.
Because you're going up the M74. You're going up the M74. As in, you go over into England, and then you got the M74 and just keep going, and then just keep going.
Yeah, because there was something wrong with the M8 near Glasgow or something. So
M8's Edinburgh. The M8 goes into Edinburgh. That road, the M8.
Hang on, I've got a truck in front of me, and all fucking.
The only reason I know the roads is because I used to go sometimes, maybe the odd day where I get sent out to go to an auction to pick, and there was somebody to pick up a motor. A Smitty will pick up a motor, and they would be like, "Right, you're going with Smitty. Go with Smitty. You're gone. You've been picked. You're going out today. You're staying in the garage. You're your day out." And then that's how I would remember roads. Because directions are bloody terrible. But you tell me go left, go right, and all the rest. I end up lost. But I remember landmarks and all that. My dad was good with landmarks and that. And then you eventually remember roads as in the numbers of roads.
Aye.
That's how when he mentioned M8, I was like, that's Edinburgh. That's the road for Edinburgh. Because the M74 is actually on where I stay. It actually comes off at the Worley's roundabout as the M74. Because that road goes all the way down to Carlisle, and then when it hits Carlisle, eventually it goes into England. But the funny part of it is, Shauna, there's no like, say for instance, like Birmingham's got a toll bridge. They don't have a toll bridge as in for between Scotland and England. It's just a straight road. It just, there's no pay whatsoever. You don't have to pay to get into Scotland. But they want to be their own independent. Scotland's always wanted to be their own independent country. They don't want to associate with England.
Okay.
But we don't really fight with England, but really, if you think about it. Because it'd be different if they were fighting with them and all the rest, and then you would turn around and say, well, obviously, they've got a problem with England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't go on. I think they just wanted to be their own independent country because they wanted to be independent so they could stand on their own 2 feet. I think that's what mainly it was. Because basically Scotland is an exporter. We export everything out. But we have to buy, but think about it this way, we have to buy the raw materials. If we're producing something, we have to buy the raw materials from somewhere, so that we can then export it back out, if you think about it. Because that was always my thing. Well, you're saying we export, right? But we still got to buy raw products in for to actually export whatever we're exporting back out again. So we have to buy it in the first place.
Oh dear.
It's not sales.
Kane will be out in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Oh,
This coat's too thin. Then you
I've got about like this. I'm in a dress.
Woo!
Woohoo!
I like dresses because they lift up easily. No faffing about. Yeah.
I wouldn't put that baseball cap on, Johnny, just in case you get stopped with the coppers. They might think you're a young boy just stole that motor.
I think they'd be out.
That's what happened. It happened to our ex-boss. We used to come down this we used to call it a test bed road, right? As in it was a countryside road, but it used to come out at the Hamilton's Dairies. And we were coming down it was late at night. We were coming down it quite quick on a Sierra estate car, right? And it was taking us home at the time, and we didn't realise there was at the roundabout. They were hiding at the other side of the roundabout. They fucking came out and they thought that that's exactly what they said, because my ex-boss was wearing a baseball cap. They thought it was young boys, as in it stolen motor, and we're out for a joyride.
I wear a baseball cap because it's fucking freezing. Keeping my head warm. Look, no hair. Look.
I know.
Keena said I'm not allowed to get a shave for 10 weeks. This should be interesting.
Why?
I don't know.
Santa Claus.
It annoyed me growing it, but then I'm missing going like that.
Right.
10 week, it'll be like, woo. I've said so. I'm shaving under my neck though. I'm not waiting 10 weeks to do that. It'll drive me nuts.
Oh God.
See me 50
whisker rash.
See me 50 shades.
My mother always knew if I'd been kissing a boy. Oh, you got whisker rash. No, I haven't. I said, I haven't been kissing no boys. She said, yes, you have.
Open it then. Be careful when you open the door. It's windy. Again. Oh. It's so windy to catch that door. Say hi.
Hey, Keeney.
Hi.
Your hair's in the door. Why do it?
Oh, pretty.
What the hell she done to your hair?
She clipped it.
It's all fallen out.
Oh wow.
You're pointing that.
I don't tell her that.
Say hi, answer the lecture. And that's Alex.
Hey, darling.
Hi, Kina.
She's growing a bit. Scary 7.
Wow. Cool.
They grow up quick. They grow up quick.
Oh, too quick. Grandson that I'm looking after.
How did you move your head?
He just turned 2 last week.
My oldest one's 16. My oldest one's 16.
So I want to see it.
So she is.
Oh, shut up, Keena. Oh, sugar. I should be messing around with the phone when I'm driving, you know that. Hang on. I've knocked it off.
Right, shut up, man.
Where are we going? Oh, I hate Morrison. Son of people with blue masks on.
It froze you. It actually froze you.
It's dangerous to go to Morrison's where everybody wears a blue mask. And if they're really mental, they wear two. Freedom! Shout freedom. She's fully YouTube famous.
Yeah.
You also TikTok famous.
You should see my move. I got some good news.
What
Cool.
about?
I got food.
Oh,
Dad, I got a new TikTok trend. It's called the Toms. You do a white bit.
right.
Dun, dun, dun.
You just broke
Right, that one TikTok famous.
Oh, not for 13 days. Don't wave your arms. 13 days she's up school now.
Right?
All for Easter for a chocolate egg.
Right.
2 weeks off for chocolate egg. I don't care about the religious shit. It's 2 weeks off for chocolate egg. It's a load of crap.
They get more holidays at school than a person does it as when they're working full time.
I don't know how teachers teach them home because they're never in school. They'll have teachers off and then they'll have a teacher's training day the day before so they get a short week. I think we're stupid.
Yeah, so over after that, the dance. That won't be a sequel.
Yeah, but they have a dance as well. I would get with you.
That's like summer holidays. They get like 7 weeks. I think it's like 7 weeks off.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh
7
Where'd
weeks.
you go now?
To
We're going to go now because we're going to eat shops.
Okay.
no.
So thanks for having me up. You're not getting a toy.
That's all right.
But there you go.
Bye.
Bye.
There you go.
Bye. Oh, it's starting to get cold now. I think I'll put my dressing gown back on. I couldn't be bothered hunting for a jumper, so I thought, dressing gown will do.
See, I don't really
Sticker.
talk. See, I don't really talk to Shauna. I don't really talk about Shauna about my as in about the kids and stuff like that because as in what went on. Do you know what I mean? What is going on? Do you know what I mean? I don't usually talk about it, but it was because Johnny said about Keena being 7. I said as in my oldest one's like 16 now.
Oh, backseat. Yeah. I actually lit a fire the other night. A couple of nights ago. But, living Harry's, it was cold. Because we'd had rain all day. So I lit the fire and the house was so warm. But I haven't lit the fire today.
Johnny said he did a good time up in Glasgow, as in with that. When he went to see that guy, Alec, whatever his name is. The one that talks his mind or speaks his mind.
I don't know him, I don't
He
think.
said he was 3 floors, I think.
I haven't been on for so long.
3 floors, he said he was 3 floors up. He was actually 3 floors up. No, because I goes like that to me. He says to me, if I come up there, I'll let you know. Maybe meet up. So I never bothered about it, and I found out that he obviously Tracy put on that, as in Facebook, that they were on their way up or whatever. But I didn't get the notification to the very next day, right? So, and that's when his days goes like to him. He goes, "You went up to Scott, you went up to Glasgow, you didn't even visit Alec." And then Johnny's like, "I was only a couple of hours." He goes, "I was only there, as in I less than a day, and then back again." I thought, well, it's not really a visit then, is it? Really? Because it's like, as in, if you're driving for wherever he's driving for, it's like maybe 5 years, 5 or 6 years up here. So you then end up 6 years back. That's 12 years if you think about it. It's a lot of driving. Because we used to do it for Dorset. We used to do it for Dorset up in Scotland. And we'd been up here like 3 different times, 3 different occasions, as in me and my ex-partner. My ex-partner only stays 5 minutes away from us now. She got a fucking house up here and Downway, because that's exactly what happened. Got a house up here and then end up, she kicked me out, and then I end up back in my mum's. We don't speak to each other. But every time I used to see her, I would get like fucking like that, like really nervous, as in if I saw her kicking about.
Yep.
Because I'm like, well, one of these days somebody's going to say something, and it might not be the right thing to say in front of each other. I was like, I don't want to be in that situation. Because my mum turned around and says to her one day, my mum walked into, when we were living it down in Calderwood at Warwick, and my mum turned around and says to her, she was washing the dishes at the time, and I was standing on the other side of her, and mum turned around and says, "You know something she went and saw about you?" And she went quiet that day. Because my mum's turned around and says, "You could never work her out." There was something about her. My mum usually can weigh people up. My mum's usually a good judge of character, right? When she meets somebody. Usually she doesn't take a dislike to somebody. And it wasn't a dislike she took to her, but she could feel something. And she kept saying to me there was something that she couldn't work out about her, as in for day one. But she could never put a finger on it. But that day she hit the nail right in the fucking head. And my ma turned around and said, funny enough, about 6 months before that, or a year before that, my ma says to her when she was up, she says, "I hope you don't get a place up here," and then kick him out the door. That's exactly what happened. And I thought I should have been listening to what my mum was saying back then. But she used to make me feel guilty about, because I took a second child on as my own, as in the Drew. And she used to, every time we would have an argument and I would walk out, she would keep on about it, as in make me feel guilty about walking out and Drew. And that's why I stayed for so long. But then end up, she made an excuse for to fucking kick me out. But she'd been doing the dirty behind my back, as in she'd been cheating on us, going out and saying she was going to Glasgow to find her bairns, as in Glasgow she got to meet a friend. She was meeting a guy. And then eventually when she kicked me out, the next day she fucking moved him in. So she'd it all planned in her own head.
Alright.
That's why I don't get into it, Sean. I don't want to keep, because it's like a broken record that never stops. And I'm like, I don't want to keep going there, because it actually affects me as a person.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I could understand your situation, because while I was here, my old man passed away and I witnessed a dead body. So I know how you went. It's a lot, as in it can be times where you're like, you feel as if you're all alone, as in it's world, and you're thinking, well, am I going to be like this for the rest of my life? because that person
That's
you love
it.
with your whole heart, you love that person with your whole heart, and you think, well, why did they leave me here? Why did they leave me here? Why did they go and leave me here? Can't.
Yep.
You don't know when your time's up.
No.
You could be, as my man used to say, you could be run down by a bus tomorrow.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So you got to take every day as it comes and not take it for granted.
Oh, well, that's it.
Because my whole life changed when after that, having that.
Yeah.
I used to just take it for granted. Oh, I have a leg, as in I'm fine. And then when after I end up with the amputation, I've took life for granted. I actually took life for granted. I was like, I did. And I'm like, but I couldn't accept becoming from an able body to a disabled body. But people were like, well, you're not really disabled. You've not to think about it that way. But I was like, well, I am. According to benefits or to the government, I'm a disabled body now because of having a leg missing. But then I actually went up in arms with personal independence payments when I went to that. ATOS, they give it out to somebody to do the work for them. And what happens is they write it all up and then they send it to another person, which then ends up with a decision maker. But they were turning around saying that I was classed as an able body and I was only, they were only giving me 4 points. So when I appealed against it, they had to make it out that I'm worse than what I am to get me up to the 12 points or the 16 points that I actually need to stay on. Excuse me. To stay on the personal independence payments. And I was like, my argument was like, well, if you're taking me off it, my argument is that if I didn't have that prosthetic leg, I wouldn't be able to move anywhere because I would end up being, I would be able to do it as hot on one leg. And I was told by physio or the people in the hospital I wasn't to do that because it would put pressure on my other leg and it could cause me as to buckle up or for the other leg to then start having effects on the other leg because you're putting weight on only one leg. And I was like, well, if I'm going to have to fight this, I'm going to argue my case out that is my argument against it. Because I'm getting mobility and also care part of it. So I get care part of it, plus so I get mobility. But I'm thinking, well, even if they dropped the care part and just gave me the mobility, it would still be like, I think it's like £58 a week or something like that, I think it is. But £50 or £60 a week, it is. Because I usually, with the personal independence payments, I don't get it fortnightly like my ESA. I get it monthly. You know, once a month. The payment for it. But I don't like going on about it because people's like, fucking, he's getting more money than I'm made. He can afford to, do you know what I mean? Give people super chats and all the rest. And I'm like, well, if my channel was done better than what it is, then I'd be quite gladly to turn around and say, well, there's a £5, a £10 to somebody, do you know what I mean? Without worrying about it. But some people forget the money that I've got is my savings, is what I've saved up for the last 4 or 5 years, which I'm using it for coins to buy coins or buy product. I don't just get it for nothing. I don't get it for free. Nobody comes and says, well, there's coins and, do you know what I mean? They're a box full of coins. For nothing.
No, that's it.
I go to the auctions, not as in which is on YouTube, as in channels that are auction related, and buy it off of their channels. It's the same with you when you do like the resin pour and all the rest. You've got to buy material. It's the same as Captain Jerk. He's got to have money to buy material for to do the resin pours or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? And hope that
Yep.
people will actually buy it off him, whatever he's making. Because he doesn't want to feel.
Yep.
A lot of people don't want to feel like a charity case on YouTube, although that they're putting content out and they're doing it out the goodness of the free, as in the free information about different hobbies.
Yeah.
Because my mum used to tell me one thing: there's nothing in life for free. You seen a box of cornflakes as in them going out like then a promotion thing. It tells you, it says free on it, but if you read the fine print, it tells you you'll pay $2.96 or whatever for postage. So it's not really free.
Oh.
Hang on. I'm back in a sec.
I don't see any comments, so I can't think of anything to say. I'm just waiting for Shona to finish the conversation. Hi, Ian.
I'm back. We got Steve. Hey, Steve.
Hello. Took a while. I've had
It arrived.
awesome. Great to see.
Yeah. I
thought you were
opened it
live, and I
earlier
thought, oh, I'm supposed to be there.
Yoo-hoo.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I was happy when I read your
Thank
email.
you.
I was like, oh, great. You're welcome. Really happy that actually showed up. Took 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now we know how
Hello,
long it
Uncle
takes in
Ian.
Tasmania.
Yeah, it's fine.
Steve, everything takes that long to come over. I've seen sometimes, Steve, 3 weeks or something like that for the big boxes coming
Yeah.
over.
Wow. Usually things get to places like America, say Captain Jerk, for example, within 4 to 4.5 days sometimes. That's
Yeah.
pretty bloody fast.
I think
It
it depends.
is.
I think it depends how busy they are with parcels. I think that's what it.
Hmm.
And it depends if it goes on to the
Yeah,
first
my
plane that's available.
Yeah, it's certainly that as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy that they arrived. As soon as I seen that you were live in my subscriptions list, right, I was like, oh, bloody hell, I'm meant to be there. Quick, get ready. Get get my ass on there. I was like, shit, I think I'm going to miss it. I miss everything.
You made it
Talking
just in
hazy
time.
for hours. I was talking like hazy for hours yesterday in like at least 2 live streams he's done.
Yeah.
He wouldn't shut up.
That was a shame about
Well,
you
yeah, I'm
missing
really happy.
that. That was a shame, Steve, you missing that gig.
Oh, the gig. Yeah.
Aye,
Still, I'm absolutely devastated.
aye. What?
Mm.
Menzies? You really wanted to go at that, didn't you?
Yeah. Pay me respect as well.
Uh-huh. But you can't help it if a migraine turned into, you know what I mean, as bad as that.
Yeah.
You've passed out, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a strange kind of migraine. It very rarely happens like that,
Uh-huh.
where I'm pretty much full-bodied paralysed. I'm going to
Yeah,
be
just
seeing a
it's-
doctor
Yeah, that's
soon
nothing
anyway.
worse.
It could have been just that you're stressed out that much, because if you think about it, right, if you bottle everything up, right, everything that's in your head or in your mind, and you bottle it up, it's like a big bloody explosion in your head. That's what happens. Because the
Yeah,
pressure's
stress
that
is a
much.
big cause of it. It could have been something that I ate as well, because I react badly sometimes to beef.
Uh-huh.
Can't be certain though. I've actually been walking a lot, starting exercising again, so I've got bad back muscles. You know, I have curvature of the spine, slouch
Yeah.
over all the time, and I can't stand up fully straight. So muscles are taking a beating all the time. Nothing I can really do about that.
No, it's all part of getting old, I think.
Well, it's basically genetic. I mostly get it from my
Hmm.
mum, because she's got a really curved spine.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you
She
something.
was born
Steve
with it
gets
as
a
well.
lot of Steve gets
Yeah,
good views. He gets good views on his thing, on his videos that he does. Although that he's not got a lot of subscribers, but the thing is, as in he's changed channel 5 or 6 times. That's why.
More than that.
I'm not counting, Steve. I'm just using that as an example.
I counted about, I think there were 13 or 14 channels I've had over about 15 years. I'll say 13 years.
Go. I've still got the same
That's
one.
probably because what happens is he either loses his phone, or he changes his number, or what happens is that he forgets the
And I can't
passwords.
get it. Yep. It's basically a password thing. Or I've really needed a fresh start.
Yeah.
Just like mentally to get away from all the crap. But I'm sticking with this channel.
Because it's like you do a video, but you don't really mean it for to end up in drama or negativity, and it ends up, it starts
Yeah,
coming to
okay.
you. You're like, well, why is this coming to me? You're like, what have I done so wrong that this all this negativity is coming to me? And you're like, and that's exactly as Steve says. You just want to, as in, close it. It's like closing a chapter, the end of a chapter, and just starting afresh and saying, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Which I totally
Yeah.
can understand about what Steve's saying.
Nice of you to explain this, Alec. That I really appreciate it. I've often felt like just nobody gets where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And my friends are saying, what the bloody hell happened to you, Steve? Have you stopped YouTube? I said, nah, I had to change the channel again. Oh, what's the new one? So I tell them.
The only
Soon after, some crap
the only reason I get it is because we tend to click with people we feel comfortable with, and it's like we talk the same language. And when that happens, you can't explain it. You can't explain it why you like that person for whatever reason, but you seem to feel comfortable around him. and you can talk to them like as if you talk to your best friend without them judging you and without them going, "Oh, you bad boy." Do you know what I mean? You naughty.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because we're not perfect.
Yay, I made it. You know on your subscriptions list how it shows that people are live? It doesn't show when they're actually genuinely live, but it's showing that they're still live from weeks ago. I'm like, oh, he's live. Baz is live. Click on him. No, they're not. Let's see on the main screen. Shauna's live. Oh, why is that not down on the bloody side? Quick, click on that. Get in the footage stream option.
Steve's right. YouTube.
I was like,
YouTube tells lies. what I do is I go down my list. I go down my list, and then what I do is I go into my subscriptions and see who's live at the time. I can go down my whole list because I've got 1,100 supporters or 1,100 channels that I actually support. So I've got a full list, and I just click on the subscriptions and see who's live. But Shauna's got me on Facebook, so Shauna then said that she was going live on Facebook because I said to her, next time you go live, tell me when you've went live or tell me when you're going live so that I know.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing that. Letting people know if there's a good live around and stuff. I keep forgetting how the hell to do it. I'm like them girls signing the email and I'm thinking, okay, who wanted to know which person was live? And I'm just giving up. I'll leave it to everybody else. We know a lot of the same people anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
Of course we do. Of course we do, because we used to follow you, Dizzy 1969 and Hazy Days, so we sort of all clicked back then. And it's not that we fell out with anybody. We sort of went our own separate ways, although we still know each other. So we still follow each other.
Yeah, great people you never lose contact with.
Exactly.
Not forever anyway.
Because how I found Hazy was through Ian Matthews, because I was watching Ian Matthews stuff. I didn't know at the time that they fell out with Robert Nudden at the time.
The other way around. I hardly ever watch most people, to be honest. I feel like I'd have to get to know them all over again.
Yeah.
Part of the YouTube journey when you're watching people.
But you're out busy, Steve. You've got your own life to. Do you know what I mean? Some people have got like a born life and they just spend their time inside. Do you know what I mean? They watch as in fucking videos all day, every day. There's some people that'll go out walking and whatever else, and they'll go shopping and they'll do all the things, and they show as in all these videos where they're out shopping and what they're up to. Do you know what I mean? And it looks more interesting than some people.
Oh, yeah.
I went out for a long walk yesterday, like I said. I went down to the beach and to one of the local parks. And before I knew it, I'd walked over 2 miles. I'm like, I've got to go back now because my back's just killing. That was all right today. Then I've been... What was I doing earlier? Oh yeah, standing around waiting to get through to... like with a phone call to the bank. Nearly an hour later, I just had to give up. And it was my social worker that was around here, helping me out anyway. He was on the phone, and we were just standing around, and I was like, I should be sitting down.
I done that the other week. I done that the other week. Wanted to start saving money, and I was like, because the obsession's got that bad with phones and bloody coins, and I was like, look, I need to. So I says to them, and they were like, do you actually need support? And I was like, well, and I was like, yes and no. and I was like with the guy, and he's like, do you want support? And I'm like, or do you need support? And I'm like, well, the obsession's got bad, and they were supposed to give me a phone call, Steve, but I've still never heard from them yet.
They can take ages to get onto you. I don't really want to bring Mel up, but I have some information of why I haven't been able to get her to do, like, sign the divorce papers. Her social worker or somebody has been off work with a broken leg. Something to do with his knee, apparently. So as soon as he's back, he should let Mel know that the divorce papers have been served, and it's up to her now to do things on her end.
Aye, and then if you can't get her to sign, it'll end up being an affidavit. It'll end up going that way. See if she doesn't sign. See if she won't sign the papers, you'll end up having to get an affidavit. That's what I had to do with mine, because my ex wouldn't sign the paperwork. Even though my solicitor had served them on her, as in recorded delivery, he done it 3 times, served them, and she wouldn't respond to them. I end up with an affidavit. I had to end up pulling my mum in. You have to actually pull a witness in. You got to take them into your solicitor. I didn't know that. I thought they could just write a letter to the solicitor and say, there you go, this is the affidavit. I can prove he hasn't been coverting with his ex-partner or whatever. He's been staying at mines, blah, blah, blah. Hasn't been seen her for the last 2 years or whatever. I didn't know that. I had to take mum in to actually ding me for him to go through the paperwork with her, and then her to witness sign it, and then they send it off. Because that's how I got my decree. So just cross your fingers, Steve, that she actually signs them. Because if she signs them, it'll take less time. It'll be even better for you.
It'll be a lot better if she does.
I think it's 50-50 whether she will sign it.
It depends on the person, Shauna. It depends on the person. Some people that are like, they don't want to even know, and they like, as if it feels sometimes as if they didn't love you at all, even though that you loved them and worship the ground they walked on. It's as if you're just a piece of dirt to them. So they don't. But if they're an actual person and have actual got feelings in their body, I'm trying to get the right word in here, as in they'll sign a bit of paperwork and say, look,
morals.
Aye, exactly. A conscience, that's what we're trying to get. Conscience. I know, Steve, I was trying to think of the word there, conscience. Because it's not guilty, because it's no guilt. It's no guilt. Because you weren't, as in, it's not as if when you get married, it's like, as in, it's like you love that person, you're supposed to have your heart for them, or give them your heart for them. No, just feel pity for them and say, right, I'm going to marry you.
Yeah. Typical my luck, if luck even actually exists, really. Basically, my point is, typical me to marry a narcissist who doesn't have that capability of being concerned about other people. I thought she really did, because she genuinely did a lot for me when I was having bad times. She was there, but then it very quickly went in a different direction.
But you're like me, you take everybody at face value. So you didn't see the true person that she was underneath, because she made out that she was somebody else, as in to your face, but deep down she was totally different person altogether. And until you got to know that person properly, that's when you eventually seen it.
Yeah, totally right. It's a shame that my family are so supportive of what I choose to do, because I guess they just didn't even want to tell me that it wasn't a good idea to get married so soon. bloody family. No, they love me to bits. I certainly know that.
Your family
But
won't, because they don't. It's not that they have the heart. They don't have the heart to tell you. It's you have to make your own decisions, and they don't want to, as in turn and tell you, well, don't go with that person, because then you turn and say, who the fuck are you? Do you know what I mean? Who the fuck are you tell me what to do? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why they're like that. But they take a back seat.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. I know, actually, I sort of been going through a similar sort of situation. My daughter wants to get married, but her partner doesn't. And although he did it first, he said, no. He said, I don't want to get married now. He said, because of the fact that, well, one, it's too expensive, and two, we've lived together for the last 3.5 years or so, or more, and they've already got a child together, and he's worried that, well, if they did get married, that's when things starts changing, and that's when I said, well, you don't have to worry about me. I said, I'm not going to interfere in your marriage or anything like that. He said, no, Mum. He said, it's not you. He said, it's my mother and my family and stuff like that. And I think a lot of it's to do with his insecurities as well. I don't know. But I certainly see where he comes from. And I said, well, you do what you think's right for you and B.
See, I blamed it
whatever
on my
you
mother.
choose, I'll support it.
See, I blamed it on my mother, as in pushing us into it, as in kept saying when he's going to get married. And we'd been living together for like 7 years. Do you know what I mean? And everything was fine, as in the way it was, as in the 7 year. But as soon as we got married, it did. A lot of things did change.
Well, that was the same with me and my daughter's father. We was getting on perfectly when we were dating, but as soon as I got that ring on my finger, that was it. Everything changed. He wasn't the bloke I thought I married, and he changed so severely. And well, put it this way, I put up with 9 years of abuse with him, and my daughter as well. She put up with it until I made the decision one way or the other I was leaving. So
I
couldn't put her through that anymore.
People forget one thing: you're not a possession. You're not it's not like as in you buy that and that ends up your possession. So a person is not a possession. Is not a possession. And when somebody gets married to another person, that's what they feel. It's their property. It's their property. So it tells you what it can and can't do. Can't do without with a person. Yep. It's got feelings and emotions.
I used to feel like that, but I wasn't like aggressive about it. I didn't know how to mentally deal with being in a relationship with somebody that was around someone else. I thought great when she went out clubbing and stuff with her girly friends. But then I started hearing rumours from her friends that she was around other guys doing too much. That's when I started questioning it. I didn't know how to deal with that. So then I ended up just freaking out and getting suicidal, really. That's when I discovered Keith and his music. But he saved my life. We were talking about it last night. And it is true. Great musician. There you go, I'm giving him a shout out again. I'm not obsessed with him.
No.
I'm not in love with him. I promise. For a start, Kate would beat the shit out of us. I can't be scared.
And I can't move. I know. No, you got it. I mean, as tough as life can get at times. I mean, we always find a way of moving on, Yeah, it's going to be hard, but oh well, them are the breaks. So,
I'm looking forward to a new relationship. I feel like
I
I've
thought it was
learned
actually
so
thing.
much.
At one time, I thought Steve was getting on with that lassie he was going with, the one that he told me was in the van with. I thought he had a thing for her, that thing. The one that gave him a job and all the rest.
Who's that? You winding me up?
You
I
went
don't
to
know
do
who you
a
mean.
job or whatever, and the thing with you were in the van, but he ended up turning around and said it was a friend, but it was a woman friend. I thought you had a thing for that thing. The way you looked at her.
Oh, God. Lisa.
Yes.
Oh.
you just get that image out of my head.
You never seen that show?
Oh,
Yeah, so to me. I was drinking all the time. Of course, I still drink these days, but not like I used to. I was just drunk all the time. That was my way of coping with things.
But you've woke up since then, Steve. You've realised that the drink's not going to do you any good, or as in it'll be the death of you. So you've realised we all go through phases where we feel like that, as in where we feel as if we're at the bottom of the pit, as in rock bottom, and we have to have a device to get us out of that state until we realise to ourselves and accept it that that's not going to do us any good.
Yeah, I've been absolutely rock bottom. I couldn't deal with anything. Thing is, right now,
I've been in a relationship with two alcoholics. My old man was one, and I helped him, but it wasn't a love, or it was a son and a father relationship love. And then with my ex partner was an alcoholic before I met her.
right?
So I totally understand, as in how somebody that's an alcoholic sort of their head works. But the difference is you realised as in how bad it was getting and thought, I need to change. But you needed that time out to eventually realise, hold on, there's people that are actually, they're not telling me because they're telling me like, as in, you'll do this, you'll do that. They were telling you, giving you advice because they didn't want to see any harm come to you, and you started to realise who really was as in helping you or was supporting you or there for support.
I did used to jump to conclusions about people I thought were really controlling, and I honestly can't remember how long it took, but I did figure it out that people mean well. They're not pushing me around.
No.
I can drink, but only in moderation.
We can only advise you. We can't turn around and tell you what you can and can't do. You have to make that choice for yourself. We can only advise you what we think or the way we would deal with it in our own way in that situation, whatever situation you tell us. But when you start telling us about two people and the way they are, we then judge because we're seeing two sides of it. We're seeing your side and also their side. But you're telling us as in about that person. It's like you turn around and saying Mel's this, Mel's that. So then we believe that. We believe that. So we're going to be against her and say we don't like her as a person because it's from what you've told us.
I still think that maybe she's not a bad person. It's just she's made the wrong decisions.
Yeah,
It bothers me when
she
people
was led
think she's
down
a
the
bad
wrong
person.
path.
Yeah, that is so
Sometimes, Steve,
unfortunate.
sometimes, Steve, you got to give the person the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes that's hard, getting the benefit of the doubt. It's like
Yeah,
a
in case
situation. It's like a situation just came to me there, which I told Sean about. Somebody's just told me that the person that I've been dealing with for mobile phones, that I've been buying mobile phones off him, is a scammer. He's basically took money off of somebody else and no sent goods. Now, I need to either believe that that's true or it's not true, that this person has made it up, because I don't know the situation. But they've came to me. I didn't go to them. It's came to me.
Yep.
So I'm taking it as gospel at the moment. But I'm not going to turn around and say what the person should and shouldn't do.
No.
But I just told the
No,
person,
I'm just speaking from
involved in
experience.
it, you do what you've got to do, but don't involve me. Don't involve me, because obviously they've noticed that I'm friends with that person, and they were warning me. Look, this is what's happening.
Yeah. No, I just generally go by my own experiences, and well, if my experience can help someone else to think, oh, okay, well, Shauna went that way. Maybe if I go this way, it might work. Rah, rah, rah. I don't know. I don't know what that other person's going to be thinking or feeling or anything. I mean, I don't pretend to be a psychologist or marriage counsellor or things like that. I mean, I can only just say, well, this is what I did, and I think I made the right decision by packing up my daughter and I and went away for a 10-day holiday. Well, it ended up being an 8-month holiday at the end of it. And then I was going to be charged as an absconding parent because I took my daughter away from her father to protect her from getting hurt. But the law says I couldn't do that and shouldn't have left the state, which I think stinks, because he'd already made threats to me once before in saying that if you ever leave me, I'll hunt you down and I'll kill you. Tassie's only a small state.
But the thing is, if social work department had been involved, you wouldn't have been to protect your kid, according to them. So you did the thing that you thought was right, which should have not gone against you.
But obviously it's a lot harder when a child is involved, and luckily for you and Mel, that's not the case. But yeah, it's a lot harder. But I had to make the ultimate sacrifice in sending my daughter back to her father in hope that I got her back, which I did a year and a half later. So, but that's then, that was like 20 odd years ago.
But that dog that didn't belong to Steve was like a kid. As in that dog. That Steve was. There's times where Steve would be like, well, I can't feed that dog. But the thing is that Steve always made sure that dog was fed, as in what himself.
Yeah.
Until obviously he gave it. I don't know where the dog went. I don't know where the dog went at the end up. I think he loved that dog more than anything else.
No. My daughter and I, we had our problems, our ups and downs and that. But, you know, we got over it and sorted it out and worked out what's what and what have you. Still this day, she still hates her father for what he's done. So, but I'm not going to persuade her one way or the other.
Steve's like that. Steve's thinking to himself,
She's
Alex
32. She's old
got
enough.
a good
She can make
memory.
money
Alex got a
like
good memory. Alex got a good memory. Oh, I've got a good memory, all right. Once I watch a video, as never
Scary.
Yeah.
most of the bits.
What are you going to come up with next? Bring some random memory up,
Don't
like,
tell me
oh shit, yeah.
Just, I've
10
got a
years
job
ago.
to remember what I did this afternoon.
Hey,
Hang on,
remember
someone-
your 18th birthday? Yeah, I do.
Aye, you wish. Aye.
20 years next month.
It's just because I follow a channel and I sort of get to know that person or try to get to know that person when I'm watching that channel and try to understand that person as a person. It's not really that
Yeah.
I'm divulging information or try to get information that's as in to be negative about that person or to use it in a hatred way. No, that's not me.
Yeah.
Because I love to see people doing well. Because when I see somebody doing well, I'm like, that inspires me. Well, if they can do it, I can do it. I can do it. But I might not do it the same way as they did it.
Yeah.
But it inspires me.
Yeah.
But it's not a case of, well, I get jealous and think, well, I should be there the same. Do you know what I mean? No. I'm like,
Yeah.
well done to them. Good luck to them.
I'm just thinking back to who this woman in the van was that you're on about. I know a car. A black car, but God, that sounds disturbing, doesn't it? Somebody in a black car. Run!
I think these were going to do a gig or something, or a backstage thing or something like that.
I don't think that was
This
me.
is scary.
Your backstage passes. We're
That
going to
wasn't me, Alex. Either you're winding me up or you're thinking of somebody else.
It was you. It was you.
I've never had a backstage pass. Apart from a Motorhead one that me up.
We've
more
got to do
gamers.
security. It was your security. It was your security. It was your security or something like that. It was your security. But it was definitely a woman. You were in a van. You were there. You done a video. You done a video on it. You did a video. There's a video on one of the channels.
Can't have been me.
It was you.
If you find it, let me know, please. Nah, you're winding me up.
It probably was. It probably was the person you were talking about, Lisa. It probably was Lisa. I don't know your friends. I don't know who you kick about with.
Sorry, I
You did a
have no
video
idea
on
what
it.
you're talking
There was a
about.
video on it.
Backstage.
It wasn't a live stream. I don't think it was a live stream, but it was a video where you were
Yeah.
gone one night.
Are you in on this, Shauna? Sitting there laughing away.
No, it's the first time I heard him, or heard it, I should say.
No idea.
Your reaction to it's like, huh?
I'm racking my brain trying to remember.
It was when he was. It was when he was drinking. It was when he was drinking. But he didn't look drunk that day, or that night, wherever they were going to. But it was her van. It was her van.
What colour was this?
It looked like a van. It looked like a van. It looked like a van.
Nah, let's move on. You give me a headache trying to remember.
He's like, I need to find that. He's like, it must have been one of the channels. It might have been the one that you had. It might have been the channel that you had the onesie on, because you had a onesie on one time, or the avatar was with a onesie on, with a pink onesie on.
Getting closer, more likely to be me. Basically, how long ago was it?
Must have been quite a while ago, Steve.
So I was probably living with my grandparents.
I think it was the time you were going through the carry on with Mel at the time, because you had the dog at the time, that white thing used to run about.
Yeah,
with Maxie. Back then. Because I think you got somebody to watch Maxie or something like that, friend of Mel's or something like that. You got to do a job or something where.
well, my old school friend Mark Byrne, one of my subscribers actually, he watched Maxie while me and Mel went away. When we went to York.
I think it was after then, because you were having a break from Mel and whatever else, and she was away then, or fucking jaunting about.
I get up thinking about it now. Thanks for the headache, Alex.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She sort of
No,
looked
I'm
like
gonna-
this person looked like sort of punk rocker and had it looked like not a Mohican, but it's sort of like, but she had, I think it was like blonde hair or dyed blonde.
Then that won't be me.
Very tall,
I don't know any blondes.
tall but not fat.
I don't know any blondes.
Maybe it was dyed blonde. Or maybe it
Yeah,
just
exactly.
looked blonde.
I don't like haired people. Away from YouTube, I don't know anybody that's blonde.
It was
Well, one
definitely a
person
vlog. It was definitely a vlog, and you were in the passenger seat.
Steve will have to go through all these vlogs now and have a look.
I think I remember. I was in the front passenger seat. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I do remember. Oh,
The
come
penny
on.
dropped.
That was Lisa driving, and Mel was in the back with me, sat to me right, and there was somebody in the
I
front
didn't know
passenger.
Mel was there. I didn't know Mel was there. I thought, I thought you were. I thought it was just you and her.
Oh no, we're getting a lift to a gig. Nothing to do with backstage though. Oh
That's
God!
what it was. I could see a twinkle. I could see a twinkle in his eye. And I thought there's something as in thing me, but I didn't know Mel was behind him, as in because you couldn't see Mel. It was only he was talking to Lisa and thing me as in whatever, and he says it was a friend, as in it's not a girlfriend. He explained that in the video. It's not a girlfriend. It's only a friend, right? But the way he looked at her. That's when I was like, there's something between them two back then.
It was Tasha and Lisa, and me and Mel in the back. Maybe it was just because my eyes were glazed over with drinking. That'll answer the question. Answer the thought. Bloody hell, man, Alex.
I think you and Lisa would make it. I think you and Lisa would make a good couple. I think she would fucking look after you. Honestly, I do. I think she would.
Yeah,
I think you would feel, but I think you would feel more that she was more a sister to you than an actual girlfriend. If you ever got it on with her, being honest.
Yeah.
she may have stolen from me, but I'll never know the truth. So just don't talk anymore. A lot of money went missing. It could have been Mel, could have been my mother-in-law. I'm just not pointing the finger. But one of my motorbikes all those years ago, that went missing, and Lisa was the only person that knew that I was trying to sell it on. It was that night. She's the only person that knew that I wasn't home, and my bike was stolen.
No.
Just coincidences, you know, but it's the past.
Mm-hmm.
She claims it wasn't her. Then she threatened to get a bouncer sister after me. I thought, I'm staying out of that. I don't get head smashed in by this big meathead lass.
Sometimes they're on that, Steve. Sometimes they're on that mouth and no action. Sometimes they'll say things that make you frightened to certain people, and then you realise they're not frightened. They're not that person at all.
I don't know though. She's well known, this bouncer sister of Lisa's. I can't remember her name, but she's well known as being brutal. I mean, I can fight, but I'd rather not. No, it's just not my style. Especially how I can't cruise if she had the bike taken. Hey, my buddy could beat you up. No offense, like, just kidding. And again, buddy could beat me up. I'm into wrestling with Maxie.
It would be nice. It would be nice. It would be nice one day, as in him to find the right person and it to work for him. Being honest, I'm looking now. I'm looking now, but I'm looking on the Facebook dating thing, and it's fucking Jesus! It's mind-boggling, that thing. But everybody's on it, as even the scammers and all sorts is on that bloody thing because it's free. But I was playing a single woman.
Like Facebook. I may have found somebody, but I'm not telling many people about it. Ha! She's quite a few years older than me. A little bit shorter than me.
But the thing is, they say they say the older ones are a bit maturer. It's a bit maturer. It's not that because you like an older woman, it's because they're supposed to be more mature, as in somebody that's slightly older than yourself. They're supposed to be a lot wiser than what you are.
She makes so much sense. She's helped me out with a shitload of advice. She's pretty much got me out of the rut, just like you not have as well, getting me mind off problems. She's probably closer to you, Alex, than me.
I want somebody that I can attract, because I don't see myself as drop down dead gorgeous or whatever, as in I don't look at myself that way, but my personality is a lot better. But the thing is, because of the way that things that's happened in my life, as in I'm a bit wary and cautious about as in going with somebody again, because I don't want to be hurt again, and because I've had too many times where I think it's the right person, I've ended up fell head over heels for them, and it's turned out that I've been totally wrong. I've been neither reading the signals wrong, or I've got the signals wrong.
And you
In
feel
the
like you've
past.
wasted a load of time again.
Exactly. I was still on J5.
No, I
Hey, Johnny.
You can't stay away. I've seen him around there.
Once a
Oh, I had
conversation
a good
gets
laugh last night.
once this conversation gets started, you can't stop. You end up with an
That's
hour,
what
and
it
then
is.
you have 2 hours, and then it ends up 3 hours. But then my live streams end up go 4 hours, even if there's nobody on them, because I always leave. I leave an open panel. My panels are always opened, but I have like 15 moderators, but I don't hold my moderators that they should be there every time that I do a live. So sometimes they pop in, sometimes they pop in and out. But I've not just got British friends, I've got ones that are American friends, as in they all come in and out. And they'll maybe say hello and then they'll pop back out again. So they're in and out. But that's because he'd been in the coin community, and they all alike for us, as in, but I don't understand what the like's there for, or the like for me. But I don't know if it's the accent or whatever it does it for them. But I tend to forget that I should slow down when I'm speaking. So I end up, when I become passionate about something or what I'm speaking about, it goes like gobble to them. It's like gobbledygook. But some of them have got Scottish descendants, which some of them understand me to a certain degree, and some of them only pick up quarter of the words of what I'm saying. But they all love when I do a live stream. But there's times where I get down days, like Steve, I get down days and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I just don't feel that it's today's the day to do it. If I'm in the mood, that's when I tend to be spontaneous and I'm like, I'm going to do a live.
Sorry, can you repeat all that?
A creator shouldn't be held accountable to do a live when the supporters feel that they should do a live. It should be that this creator decides when and should do a live, or in the mood to do a live. Because there's some days where you just feel like I can't be bothered, or you just don't feel that it's you're in the right frame of mind to do a live.
I could never keep to a schedule, like a specific night at a certain time. I find that extremely hard. I can't
Steve,
help
once
but
you
get
get into a routine, then it becomes like a thing that it's you're constantly doing. So you don't really look at it that way, but it takes time for that to happen. For you to feel what it's not a routine, or it's not a full-time job, or it's not as in being born or getting born, or it feels like it's a strenuous task on you.
It's like a job that you enjoy. Once you get used to it, and you look forward to going live.
Yeah.
You know what you mean?
See, it's like me turning around and saying, I don't know what makes me happy at the moment, because I get in and out of phases and I'm like, do I really want to do this? Is it really my thing? If I went too deep with it, do I feel comfortable with it? Am I really enjoying it? Because that's it. Said a few people turn around and say to me, if you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't be doing it then. Or you should be thinking about doing something else. And I'm like, but I don't want to turn around and say I'm quitting YouTube. I never want to go down that road. Putting out a video, I'm quitting YouTube, because it's letting me myself down, and it's also letting the supporters that are loyal to the channel down as well. if you think about it that
I'll
way.
be back in a sec. I'm going to sort out my dog.
Sean never lets me quit. I've been trying for years, but just not having any of it.
Because we don't miss you. We don't miss you too much, and then we start wondering, well, where the hell's Steve gone? Is he dead? Is he in a ditch somewhere? Did somebody bury? Did somebody bury him?
That's my concern. I worry. I've said this like 1 billion times now, or maybe close to 1 million, not quite 1 billion. No. That I'm always concerned that other people are worried about me, and that makes me worry about them. So that's what winds me up. So no matter what, as long as YouTube's around, I will check in from time to time. And I'm always contactable. Hey, I'm speaking Scottish now. I'm always contactable on email anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It might take a few days to reply, but I do reply.
But when somebody sees you doing a video or a video's been done, we know you're still about then. Even although that it might be a week or 2 weeks as in video before, at least we know that you're still kicking about somewhere on YouTube itself.
Yeah.
Even if
And
it's the
I definitely know
shittiest, it doesn't need to be the best video of the lot. It could be the shittiest video that's fucking that you think is shit, the shittiest video, and somebody will like it, but then end up people will go, well, at least Steve, we know Steve's alright. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of the fans, that's how a lot of the supporters go to the certain channels, because they're used to that person, or they get used to them because they're trying to get to know the person that really is, not your past. They don't want to know about your past, as in what you're going through. They want to see an experience of where you're going through, and it inspires them. It inspires them in some way.
So it's like I know it's like this. If I've been able to do something and get through problem times, then surely other people can. Because I'm not good with things. Trying to do things for the better. I keep messing things up. So if I
But
can
that
do it,
video, put it this way, Steve, that video could help somebody else, even if you only just help one person with that video.
yeah,
A lot of the things, a lot of the advice and a lot of the things that I'm telling you came from somewhere else, and I'll tell you where it came from. Watching Cab 7's videos, as in, although that it was as in what slightly God related, but a lot of the things that he said made sense to me. A lot of it.
Yeah. By the way, hello, buddy. You know he's gone now.
Yeah, it was getting
No,
heavy.
I'm not
He's only a small dog, but he gets
I'm not really a Bible basher, but I believe there is a God in my own way. But I wouldn't start bashing a Bible to somebody else and speaking all gospel and think that I'm perfect, because I'm far from perfect. But it was the way that a lot of the things that he was saying, it made sense to me at the time.
Yeah, I'm listening, Alex. Hi, buddy.
Woof! 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 Woof!
I didn't know it was you there, Alex. Alex Smith, the dog.
I am crazy. I am a bit crazy. I tend to go on with animals better than I do people. But the difference is, I always felt comfortable when I started, because I've been on your lives a couple of times, and you're very similar in the way you think about certain things. It's sort of my way of thinking, sort of.
Okay.
So I sort of understand where you're coming from.
Oh, thank you. You love giving your kisses out, don't you, Buddy Woods?
Because I'll say to my mum, as and I like this person, but I don't understand why I like the person. And then I sort of think about it and I thought, hold on a minute, are they very similar to me? Is a lot of things that they've said similar? Is there a lot of similarities between the two? Or is it because I speak the same language as them? Because some people are like, nah, I don't think so. You know what I mean? Because when you say about, as in when you put a video out saying something about a normal person, people will turn around and say, well, what is a normal person? When you say something like that about quoting about a normal person, what is classed as a normal person?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what a normal person is, or a normal person the way they're supposed to think. I don't know. I think the way I think because obviously the way that I was built or the way I was made. And I can't help that. If it upsets or offends people, that's their problem, not my problem.
I really like the way you explain things.
I try and explain it in simple terms because I have to have things in black and white. I can't have somebody turn around and say it's a maybe, because a maybe is, does that mean yes or does that mean no? So if I'm asking you advice and you say maybe, that's not an answer to me. It's either a yes or a no. Am I allowed to do that or am I not allowed to do that? And the minute I see you doing something that you've told me not to do, it makes me irate, because I'm thinking, well, you told me not to do it, but you still went ahead and done it. But it's okay. You're saying that it's acceptable for you to do it, but not me.
Like, do what I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
Actually, I used that saying today. Yesterday.
Wow.
My granddaughter. What do you want? No, come on back up. You're too heavy.
No. I need the advice. I'll come up with an idea and I think, oh, is this idea feasible? And I'm like, And then I start going, oh, what if? There's a what ifs there, and people go, just go and do it, Alec. And I'm like, no, I don't feel comfortable with it at the moment. I just need that somebody else's advice. If I put it across to them, I've got this idea, I'm planning this. What do you think about it? What do you think? How does it sound to you? And I'm wanting feedback from that person. I want a feedback for that person, how they feel that it should, or how they feel it sounds to them, whether it's right or wrong, and why there's a discrepancy. So I can go away and turn around and write, this plan, there's a plan, but I don't write anything down. It's all in my head. The plans are all, or the ideas are always in my head. Because I don't know how to put them.
You have an amazing memory.
I don't know how to put them. I don't know how to put them in paper, or how to actually sit down and go, right, as in, and draw a sort of a plan of it and say, right, step 1, step 2, step 3, and go through it as in simple format. It's all just in my head.
No.
I often have to write things down though.
I hate writing. I just hate writing. I've never liked paperwork.
I'll send you the heat, Johnny.
I don't mind. See if it's I've sold something, and then I tend to take it out of a book or whatever, or I'll go into a spreadsheet, like say for instance PayPal, and I've sold items or whatever. Then I'll sit and do it as in, and I love putting it together and packaging it up and then addressing it. But the part I hate is when I have to go to the post office and send it. But I always send my stuff. But it's bothered me because somebody's turned around and says, by the way, this person you're dealing with is not 100%. So it makes me then doubt that person. Well, if he's doing it to that person, what if he tries doing it to me? But I don't just take a couple of bits off him. I bulk buy off the guy. The guy's never let me down. But he's then letting other customers down. But it's not my customers. But they end up letting me know because I'm friends with him on Facebook because he's scamming people through Facebook Marketplace.
That's cold, Johnny.
What am I missing?
Johnny said it's freezing outside. He's not going back out there. It's like 11 degrees Celsius. I said, yeah, that's a bit cold.
Johnny says about WhatsApp. I don't do WhatsApp. The reason why I don't do WhatsApp is
minus 40. Apparently like minus 40 in Canada.
Right, yeah, my phone went flat, Johnny.
the reason why I don't do WhatsApp because I nearly get scammed on WhatsApp. I nearly get used
I haven't.
taking advantage of
Not yet,
WhatsApp, so I don't use WhatsApp. But saying that, I use Facebook. I use Facebook Messenger, I like Facebook Messenger, because I just block them out. I tend to talk to somebody and then end up, if I don't like them or as in it starts dragging me down, that's when I end up cut them. That's when I cut them off because they end up it starts dragging me down. It's like they're trying to make you think the way they're thinking, but as you're talking, you feel as if you're getting dragged down, as in you start feeling low in your own self. So then you're like, no, because that's the last thing you need.
Yeah, I certainly know that feeling. When
I
people
know
are
Johnny
dragging you
took
down.
himself off some people did take himself off of Facebook because there's a lot of crap on Facebook and end up there's a lot of drama on Facebook as well. It's like you see a video, you watch it and you're agreeing with that person, but 500 people agree with what you're saying and there's always 200 people that don't agree. But that 200 people that don't agree with what you're saying, they tend to end up as in jump. It's as if they jump on top of you. And you're like, well, why jumping me? Why jumping me? So you're because you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're jumping on top of me. So it's like a fight where there's only one person, but there's 40 of them jumping on top of you. That's not a fair fight. That's not a fair fight. But that's what happens on Facebook because it's social media. It's social media. So either sometimes it's a case of, as in, you either comment or you don't comment at all. You just press like on it, that's it. End of story.
Yeah,
I
I know
used
it's
to
been
use
a while
Facebook,
since
but
I
it
had Facebook,
just
Johnny.
problems. You know, I've been stupid again. I couldn't see the comments. It's because it was on the private chat on the side of the screen. I just had to change it. And then you go
Johnny
on
says you left over a year ago, but I don't know. I understand I left FB, but I don't know what CBA means. I don't know what CBA
I
means.
was wondering.
Oh, he'll let you know what it is, and he'll tell you exactly what it is. I only go really on the
I
groups.
know what it is. It just came to me. CBA is can't be asked.
Can't be asked.
Good one, Steve. Take on it. I didn't even think about it because I know it's short text.
I had the first two right in my head, but I couldn't remember what the A stood for. Now I know.
See, Alex, it's because you started my memory running there. Now it's working more up to speed.
But
Don't bring up another video.
all social media platforms have got its good points and its bad points, and always will have. Always will have.
Mm.
I like the group. I like mostly the groups, as in the Facebook groups. I like the groups better. It's like because there's coin groups on there. There's mobile phone groups on there. But I love helping out with the problems. I don't. There's people on there that actually put on, and they'll put, like, say for instance, they hit a problem, and they're wanting a solution, and there's 100 people that'll turn around and say inbox me. I don't do that. I'm like, I'll comment to it and say, well, I think this is a solution for it, and try and help them, because I'm like, well, why should they pay for it? But then people are like, but you're losing money because you're giving them information, valuable information. But if you look for it, if you done the same what I do and research it, you'll find the information, you'll find the solution to the problem. But some of them can't be asked doing that, as in going and searching for it. Because all you have to do is Google it. And if you can't Google it, go on YouTube. You'll find a video. There'll be a video somewhere, or nearly the same problem or the same symptoms.
I tend to search YouTube rather than Google search.
What I do, Steve, first is I do a Google search first. I put in, like, what is the meaning of such and such, or what is the solution to such and such. And then I'll go through a full list of stuff, and then maybe you'll see like 3 pages, and all of a sudden you see a video, and it'll be a YouTube video, but it'll be like a search of breaking down as in all the words, because that's what happens. See, if you put like a Google search in, you'll get like a full sentence, and then what it does is it starts about 3 or 4 lines down, it starts breaking it into parts of the word. So it does.
And the part of,
I'm
like,
just going to show Johnny our workstation here. I'll put yourself on screen. Come on. Why aren't you doing it?
Oh, you can sing. Nice.
That's our workshop. Alright.
I've always wanted to actually use a metal lathe, and see what I can turn out in a metal lathe without doing myself injury.
That's part of it.
That's not good for people with trypophobia. All those holes. They look like holes anyway.
That's one half of the shed.
Here's
the other half.
One in my face. Images of holes. It makes me vomit first thing in the morning.
That's what I've always wanted. A workshop, as in with all my stuff in it, as in all set out properly. So it's all there, so I don't have to keep in boxes and shit. Through boxes, try to figure out where it is. That's how my mum won't touch stuff in my room, because I know where everything is, or I know where I last left it.
Thanks, Johnny. Look what I got.
That's it then, isn't it? Johnny's moving into Shauna's.
You've got a wood lathe, Sean. I would really like one that I could do as in it's actually a metal for doing metal, because I'm better with metal than I am with wood. I'm crap at woodwork. I can't even saw a bit of wood straight. Every time I saw a bit of wood, it's like that. It goes like that. you look at it, it looks
Hey,
straight, but
God.
then you put it up, you go, nah, that's fucking ninety. That's miles away. That looks like shite.
Hiya, God, mate. Good to
'Cause
see
my
you.
old man used to laugh at me as in doing me. He's like, "You've not got a straight eye in your head, son. You've not got a straight eye." As in every time we cut a piece of wood, that's what he used to cut. He used to cut the pieces of wood because he was better at it than me. But then Dad taught me about metal work. I can go and take a bit of metal and bash lumps at it and make it to fit any shape you want with just a hammer, with just a hammer and just a hammer or a mallet and massage it.
Like that episode of Father Ted with the car. I know you do a better job than
Steve, with metal, as in, it depends how thick the metal actually is. And it depends how much you bash it. So basically, you can massage it until it's really soft because you're not even heating it, but the amount of force that you're putting in it, as in when you're bashing it, you're getting it. Because you're distorting it. That's what you're doing. You're actually distorting the metal.
That's part of me chisels that I've got. I've only got to get now
Lego or
a
something.
face shield.
You got to watch what you're doing with you got to watch what you're doing with the chisels, especially when that thing's spinning round. Because if you put it too far at an angle, that chisel it'll jam.
Yeah.
The difference is with a metal lathe, it's like a finger, so you're not even putting a chisel even near it. It's basically a carbide. It's like a carbide bit. So basically, all you're doing is turning a wheel.
Yeah.
But you're taking it with a micrometer and all that car on to make sure it's the size that you're actually looking for.
Yeah.
I just want to see what I could do with one. That's all. I want to actually see what I could do and how far I could go with one.
I
Because I've
think
seen
it's
these ones
just
where you
having
see.
life threatened by an Aussie.
Alright,
Stick up.
because she's showing you the chisels. Aye, chisels. Aye, what chisels? Aye.
I'll leave you with this one. Oh, this one in your eye.
Steve says he felt threatened with that chisel. That chisel. He says, I've not been threatened by an Aussie before.
Yeah, Mark, my other housemate, he bought the chisels for me. Oh, he's going to use the wood lathe as well. Because he wants to do a few projects.
Ian just acquired a metal lathe, but it's not actually for him. It's actually for Huey Lionheart. I've got Huey on Facebook, so I'm waiting to see if, when Huey picks it up. I'm waiting to see what Huey turns out in it because it's an actual metal. Yeah. I think by rights, I think it's a metal lathe. I think it's a metal one. I don't think it's a wood one. But
tell the break.
Ian saw it. Ian saw it.
Steve's coming back. He's just busy for a sec. Yeah, I've just got to get a full face mask.
Because Ian saw the lathe down at his end, so Ian picked it up. But then I thought when he showed the video, I thought it was Ian's. But then he turned around and says, "No, it's not for. It was picked up for another party." And then when he turned around and said it was for Huey, I thought, "Oh, good," because I've got Huey on Facebook anyway. Because Huey was friends with Baggett's Corner and that, and I've always liked Huey.
Yeah.
I always liked Huey.
Yeah, I couldn't get over that parcel coming back after all this time. Oh dear.
No, because Kate didn't want it. I want it. And then I says to you, get it to Kate. I told you to get it to Kate.
Yeah.
To keep the peace at the time. To keep the peace.
Yeah.
Because something happened to her, or a cup that you gave her or something like that, smashed or something, or it got broken, or it got chipped or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was hoping
Well,
to
apparently
win
it got lost in the mail.
Got lost in the mail? What
Oh God.
It must have been round the whole world, Shauna. It must have been round the whole world.
I'd say it must have.
They say that can happen with money. They say that can happen with money as well. It can go into a system and then be held in a system and basically just float in cyberspace.
It's even still got me old sticker on it.
I believe you. But why is it so big? Why is the box so big? I thought the box would only have been about at least that. If it was a mug, it was inside it. You'd have thought it looks as if there's nearly 2 mugs in that thing.
Yeah.
The size of
It don't
that
feel
box.
broken.
But then you must have packaged it up well. Because I did say to you, remember I said to you, make sure it's packaged up well.
Look at that.
At least it's no thing, me. I've seen one's packages where it looks as if they've been kicked about like a football. That doesn't look as if it's been kicked about. But if you put fragile on it, they would have handled it with care.
Yeah.
Because if you don't put fragile on it, if it's fragile stuff that's in it, they'll fucking kick it about like football.
Oh,
Let's just throw it, because that's it today. See when it's in the what they do is they put in the trailer, they have it stacked right up, right? So they're trying to get it as in depending who's picking it, as in out the trailer, and there's a conveyor belt. They usually put it on a conveyor belt. See as it comes off the conveyor belt, depending what area it's supposed to go into, as in depending the postcode, they actually like pass it like pig in the middle. That's what they do with it. But there's ones where they don't care about their job and they'll fucking kick it with a foot.
Yeah.
I've seen boxes that's come through and they're like, as in people's like, what the hell's happened to that? Because they don't give a fuck about the job.
Yeah.
Because they don't care in the world about the job. They're only interested in the money.
Mm.
So they're just trying to fucking kick it about like a rag doll. And there's been stuff been sent back to companies as in it's actually broken. They're broken in bits. But the companies accepted them back because they had no option. But it wasn't the customer that actually broke it in the first place.
Yeah.
They didn't even get to the customer. So you obviously done a good job there, but I don't understand why it come saying address incomplete, and then saying not at this address.
Yeah, I don't know.
Strange that. Because you would have got the address for Kate anyway. You would have put it on the box as in the way that Kate gave you it. So why would it have come back that? Unless there was a price, unless there was postage to be paid on it.
Don't know. It just says
But
addressing
why is it not
complete.
saying? Why is it not saying on the box there was postage to be paid in it? That's what I don't understand.
Don't
Because
know.
it would delay 14. Because what happens, Shauna, is it delays 14 days at a hoarding depot to go and get collected if it can't go through a post, unless it can't go through a post box or a letter, as in a letter box. So there would have chapped the door because it's Royal Mail. Because if you put it through USPS, it would have went through Royal Mail. So how come it didn't get to the address that it was going to? Don't understand
Yeah,
that.
it just said address unknown.
Couldn't be bothered.
What's that?
Something tells me that they couldn't be bothered and sending that or taking that to that address.
Oh,
That's what it sounds
either
like.
they're taking it to the wrong address. But yeah, I don't know.
You've got to watch out for scams with Royal Mail as well. You can get text messages claiming that there's postage to be paid when nobody's even tried to deliver anything.
Steve, we're
not-
talking about.
No, we got that here too.
Steve, did you see it? It was a mug that was sent to Kate, right? That Shauna sent.
Yeah.
Now, she sent it in 2018. It come back 2 years later. 2 years later, it come back to Shauna.
Well, the thing was, it should have went to my old address in Queensland.
So the
It
managed
should have
to
went to my old address in Queensland, but it came here. So, don't know.
Because
Have
they
you
found
not
Crazy.
sparkles diverted?
they found who Shauna Sparkles was, and maybe you put on your forwarding address when you changed address.
Yeah.
So they had it in the
yeah.
system.
Well, see, we've been down here 2 years now, and the old address in Launceston, just up around the corner from where I am currently, unless they still had it on file, and then they found out that I'd moved to this address where I am now, and they bought it here. But yeah, they've got my old address on the box with my sticker.
Because you could have claimed for it. If they'd have lost it, you could have claimed for it. And then they've got to pay out. They've got to pay it out. So they had to find you. So they found you.
Yeah.
So good you got it back and end up. So you've got it. So you can turn around and say to Kate, by the way, guess what? I've got it sitting here and you can actually show it. There it's sitting there. There's a box there. 2 years later. But now you've got to try and figure out if you were to send it back, how you would get it so it doesn't say unknown address, or the address doesn't exist. See, this is why I give everybody as in the way that it's done as in through Royal Mail mine's, because mine's actually thing it used to come under Glasgow, but now it doesn't. It comes under South Lanarkshire. But I always put the Glasgow on it because I'm just outside. I'm on the outskirts of Glasgow. Because I would have thought that you would have gave the right postal code. That should then send it onto your rightful postcode. Because surely when they put the postcode on, it should come up in their system. Sometimes it doesn't always in the system. Your system has flaws in it.
So to change the subject, I've just been intensely thinking about what you brought up, Alex, that video where we're going to a gig. I've recently used quite a few parts of that in one of my compilation videos of gigs. We went to see Nick Giles and Danny Groff. Totally forgot about getting a free lift in Lisa's car that time. Yeah, it was Tasha in the passenger
That's what
seat.
it'll be. That's what it'll
To
be.
work
But it
along
looked
the tax
real
law.
like a van, but because it just you had the inside light on, and it was just you and her that was in the front. She was driving, you were in the passenger seat. But I didn't see Mel behind you. If Mel was behind you, I never seen Mel behind you. But it was dark,
I remember being in the back.
late night. It was late.
Well, I remember being during the day, and they were blasting. Oh, what type of music is it? Not happy hardcore. It was like dance tunes, basically. That's all I can think of it being.
I like Clubland. I've always been into Clubland.
Clubland, that's it. I like the trance. I really enjoy hardstyle. Like the climax and cue dance.
I can take so much of that Clubland or rave stuff, and then I end up, I'm like, I have to put it off because it's like as if it starts giving me a headache. But then I was used to it because when I was 16, I started as in the Clublands because I wasn't really into it. I wasn't really into women. If a woman was teasing me or whatever, I would never know the signs as in that she fancied us or whatever. So I mean, so I would sometimes make a total fucking ass of myself. I mean, not dancing because I just like dancing. I've always been into music because I've got a musical ear. My mum's the same. My mum actually thing we'll sit there. Well, she used to. She doesn't even mostly do it now. She went back into her badminton again. She would sit with her keyboard and just play tunes. She'd hear something on the radio and she'd just start playing it. But she could tell when it was wrong or a bit it was mucked up. And then somebody taught her to read a music book. Because mum never read music books, or she couldn't understand how to read a music book properly.
That's one of me resin castings I did. It looks like it's got cracks in it, but it hasn't. It was sitting on plastic while it was curing, and that's how it ended up.
Cracks and sitting in the
I've
same
got one.
paragraph.
I've got one that I showed Shauna that's got a 20 pence. It's actually got a 20 pence piece, and somebody did it in a key ring. It's made into a key ring. And it's actually a 20 pence piece. You can actually see the 20 pence piece inside it.
Made a necklace.
Nice.
It's amazing what you can make into as in if you use a resin pour. Amazing you can make just resin. You can actually change the colours of resin.
Holy shit, that van outside. Oh, it's just reflection. I thought the windscreen, what it was called, the van over the road. I think it's a guy, like a local shop up the roads, thingy, delivery van, whatever. I thought it was covered in horse shit. It's just a reflection from the tree over the road.
I was knocking about with colours there. Purple and blue.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
But saying
Bit
that,
of
as
both, but yeah.
like the resin, you've got to, some people know how to mix it and not get air pockets in it. And there's other people that will use a vacuum chamber and basically take the air out of the resin itself. But it's time consuming that. As and then end up you got to put it as in like a vacuum chamber, but the vacuum chamber's a fortune, or it's dear to buy it. The vacuum chamber, and it just looks like is a pot. It just looks like a pot, Steve, with as in like screws. It's got like a set of clamps on the side of it, and then it's got like an ear nozzle you can put into it, and then with a gauge on the top, and basically what you do is you put the airline into it, and it basically sucks the air out of it. So it takes the air out of the actual so there's no bubbles in it.
Sorry about slamming doors. Typical neighbours. Yeah, info for you. Welcome to the gap. Mark, man, you knob. Yeah, I've got the blinds down because it's really bright early update. And the house over the road has been for sale for ages. So we're just looking through the gap. The sign shows sold. I wonder who's bought it. Been on sale for so long. Must be something wrong. They might be converting this building soon into a hotel or something again, because they're rejuvenating the whole town. So us supported accommodation type of residents will be asked to move out and live somewhere else. Not so hard for me.
But surely if they're doing that, then they should be finding you somewhere to live.
Yeah.
But if they evict him from where he's staying, the council has a duty of care to him. So because he's not evicted himself and made himself temporary homeless, and they evict him from the premises, then he has a better chance of getting permanent residence. I know all about homelessness. I've been there 4 times. I've been there 4 or 5 times, so I know what the law is on it.
Yeah, because I know over here, if you're staying in a block of units or apartment building or whatever, and for whatever reason that building gets sold, then the landlord or whoever owns them is technically by law supposed to find you somewhere else to go.
As long as he is an eviction notice by the landlord, he go down to council and say, look, this is what they've done. This is the date I have to be out by. And then they would have to find what they call temporary accommodation until they find them permanent. Because sometimes they'll do an inspection every 6 months or whatever, as in a temporary dwelling. And as long as he keeps it to appropriate standard, then they'll give him permanent residence. But the councils up here, they used to sell their homes. It used to be like you could put 50% share and then you would buy it, as in for like a third of what its value was. Up here, they're not doing that anymore. A lot of the houses are getting bought by the council, and they're not getting as in let to buy anymore because they just don't have the stock anymore. And there's a lot of people that's on the waiting list, as in that are homeless and on that waiting list for years.
Cool. Sounds a bit like over here.
That, well, my mate Jamie, his partner's heavily pregnant. She might have had the kid by now. I've seen him today. Didn't think of asking, but they've been waiting on the housing list for years from a buy a house, I think it was, and the council aren't giving them anyway. I mean, being heavily pregnant. And his partner and the baby have to live somewhere.
Some of them stay like 10 and 15. I've known people that have been on the waiting list for like 10, 15 years. And they're still.
Okay, Johnny, talk to you later.
I don't know what place yet.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, Johnny.
Peace out, Brussels sprout.
I would make a joke about Leeds, but I can't think of anything. Like Yorkshire. He's probably still around.
Probably.
Let's get more respect and do it with 2 hands. Yorkshire, Yorkshire. He's a bloody dad.
Mm. Well, it's 1:30 here in the morning.
That's weird that I've just said that and you didn't mention the time. 9 hours.
It's 4:30. It's 4:30 over here. It's nearly tea time.
Yeah.
It's nearly tea time.
Oh, and then Alex comes
Yeah,
in.
quite bite. I need to
We
get
do
a
it all the
quite
time. He's like,
quick bite to eat because I'm waiting for my mum coming in because she was at her sister's, but then end up she stays in Cumbernauld and end up instead of them giving her a lift over. My cousins and all that have got motors and whatever else, right? Mum's end up when she goes over there, if she goes and spends as in Friday night or Friday, she does Friday, Saturday, as in Sunday, and then come back on Monday. She's got to take a bus, which takes her a full day as come back here. Instead of them saying, well, here on the car, it'll take him half an hour to drop her off and then fucking go again. But no, because of Wednesday and whatever else, they want to get on with what they're doing. Instead of mum putting her foot down, she turns around and says, oh, sorry, I'll just get the bus. So end up she's not back to 5, 6 o'clock as in the evening if she's earlier. On the other side, because it's the other side of the city. Because Cumbernauld is actually further away from us.
Yeah.
So a whole day.
Because she's got to get 2 buses, Steve. She's got to get one in. She's got to get one into Buchanan. She's got to get one into Buchanan Street, as to get earlier in the first place. She's got to take a bus back from there, get into Buchanan Street, and then from Buchanan Street to here. So 2 buses. So that's a full day.
Oh dear.
So long.
Because usually I get my breakfast. Usually I get my breakfast, my lunch, and then she brings it up. I didn't ask her to do it. Just does it. So I'm like, well, if you got to do it then. So she usually puts on the dinner at 5 o'clock. I just put something quick. I just pick something or something like that. Cut of biscuits or something like that. Or maybe a sandwich. I don't know.
I have to ask you, Alex, does Craig Lang actually exist?
Yes, it does.
Right. I'm a massive fan of Still Game. Some
people went over there and visited the set, but it is true. As in when he turns around and says about Craig Lang being a shithole, it fucking is. That's the way it looks. It is a fucking website. Hit it because a lot of these places, they're getting read. A lot of the places in Glasgow and stuff, like because we had that when we had the big Olympics and all that, they generated so many millions into that, and they done the whole of Glasgow. They done the whole of Glasgow up. But a lot of the places like Drumchapel, Easterhouse and stuff like that were still like old buildings, and they had to wait until they had so much money regenerated into the economy to basically do these places up. But when they're doing them up, they're actually fucking knocking them down. They're actually knocking buildings down. But if it's a listed building, they can't knock it down. They have to leave it standing. But they can pull the insides it out, but leave the outside alone. If it's a listed building, that's only if it's a listed building. But if it's derelict or it's dilapidated to a certain degree, they'll fucking demolish it, put a bulldozer right through it. It's brilliant to watch, especially when you see a bulldozer knocking it down. But some of them use plastic explosives, because in the Gorbals they actually brought 2 buildings down, 2 high-rises down, and they used plastic explosives to bring it down. And they actually took footage of it. You can actually watch it on YouTube, the footage, as in them demolishing it with his explosives and how it came down, and how they went in and drilled it so it would come down in the right way, because there was buildings as in scattered about it.
Mm.
That's how I watched that King's. It's called King's Scrapyard or something, or Scrap Kings. It's called. I watch a lot of the programs on that, as in when they're doing like as in taking a ship apart, or they're taking a vehicle apart or whatever, or a train. It's therapeutic to watch, because they don't just do them, they show you like buildings that they've done demolition and how they did it and that, and what techniques they had to use to do it, as in so to not create any other buildings around it being knocked down.
In my town, I hadn't even, I didn't know until they'd knocked most of it, if not all of it, down. A certain section of the local King Street shopping area. It's actually known as King Street. So they've taken out a huge section of that, and when I was there, 2.5, 3 months ago or so, I was like, "What happened here?" The whole section just falling up on the sides, and I thought, "It's bloody tragic. So much damage." I really felt emotionally hurt, because I'm really into my local town. Okay, I'm obsessed with the history of this place, and I know less than 1% of the history of the town. So to build a cinema, all modern technology and stuff, apparently, they built it right there with our taxpayers' money. People fucking hate it. Who wants to pay 16 quid at least to see a film when you can just get it on the internet for 3 quid? It's
I'll tell you who's Billy Connolly, right? Billy Connolly was born in Glasgow. So when he comes back to his own hometown, because he always comes back with a vengeance, right? Because his heart lies in Glasgow, and a lot of his songs and stuff were done about Glasgow, and he shows you all the bits and pieces of where he lived, and as he was growing up and stuff like that, that's him showing you the footage, and it's amazing to watch, and you go, was Glasgow really like that, or did it look like that? Yes, back then it did, but because as Steve says, the regeneration thing, it comes into kick, and then what they do is any old buildings that are needing repair, and if it's too far gone, they decide it's demolition. That's the last resort. But you sort of think, well, why isn't that building still up there? Because it's old, it looks in the proper place. Because a lot of these newer buildings, they look at a place, when you look at them, you go, fucking looks a lot of shite. When you look at it, there's nothing really to look at it. It looks like a sky, just like a fucking big a skyriser. There's nothing to it. There's nothing about it that's appealing.
Yeah, maybe it was time that they brought that section of the shopping area down anyway. Thinking of it now. Time to move on. I was going to say about Billy Connolly. When I went for a walk to the beach, Monday today, that was yesterday, in the amphitheatre area where there's like one section of the town where bands play in the summer. I
Yeah.
was looking down from like the what it's called, but like the higher up walkway. I swear I spotted Billy Connolly. And look out next weekend, I'm gonna put it in a video. I was looking down
Oh,
like
cool.
Billy Connolly. What's he doing in Shields? I'll show you this weekend when I do my next video.
If Steve puts that video on, I'll be looking to see if it is Billy Connolly. I'll be like, is that Billy Connolly? And it depends what way, as in Steve's filmed it. I'll be thinking, well, is it Billy Connolly? Because he looks, in his older days, he looks as in, like, really old, but he's not like, as in, like, as if down and out. He doesn't look that way. He's sort of kept his sort of appearance, but he's just sort of got older. He's sort of got more sort of white hair, or greyish, but it's more white.
It was like him, but looking younger.
Mm.
Mm.
Because
But he
people
wasn't weird.
Because people turn around and say to me, is because you got this thing in their head that a lot of people are like Rab C. Nisbet, and then they'll ask me the question: is Rab C. Nisbet really a character? Was he actually made that way? Yeah, because that's fuck. Where was that set? Govan Hill. It's set between Govan Hill. Govan Hill is actually between two places. It's between Allison Street, Govan Hill. We had a shop as in between. We had a shop at it's Queen's Park. So Queen's Park is between. They've got Queen's Park and Govan Hill, but Govan Hill was the sort of rough area, or made out to be a rough area. Sort of up here. This used to be this where I stay. Used to be a rough estate. It's not as rough as it used to be, but there is a lot of drugs in our area. But it's not like on our doorstep, thank God. Sort of the sort of other end. So you sort of know which bits to keep out of, sort of which areas that you can go through as in during the day, but just don't go through there at night time.
I'm just gonna go to the toilet. I won't be anywhere near as long as last time. I won't get distracted.
But the thing is, I'm well known in certain bits, so I don't get, I don't get touched, but I know who to look out for. I know who not to look out for, sort of thing, when I'm going through these areas. But I don't tend to go through the streets at night time. I tend to stay in my own sort of being bit. Or if I'm going somewhere, I'll go sort of where I'm known, or where it's sort of light areas. Because we always get taught that. As long as you stay where it's lit, don't go through dark alleys and stuff like that. Because you don't know who's lurking in dark alleyways. But there's a lot up here. There's like cameras everywhere. You go as in up the shops. There's cameras all over the shops, or that shopping precinct, or our shopping centre. But they've just rebuilt. They've rebuilt our shopping centre up there, up the road. That's about the fourth time or something, fourth or fifth time. But it's not getting rebuilt this time. That's them built it into be sort of. What they've done is the shopping centre used to be able to walk through it. They've actually decided that area that we used to walk through, where there used to be shops in it, they've closed that bit off, and they've made them into units. So there's like units as in it, like the back side of it, and then at the opposite side, or the side that's this way, where between the walkway and the pub is, there's units there, and then there's two units on the opposite side as well. There's two units through there. So they're sort of backed on each other, the actual units, but they're quite big units. But it's a package that I think it's a Pakistani that actually owns it. He actually owns the full building or the full development. He actually owns it.
Okay.
The cost cutters, as in they bought the post office, or the Asians or the Pakistanis, they bought the post office and they put the post office into the thing, into the cost cutters. So they did.
Yeah.
There used to be, when it used to be the young boy that used to own it, which was originally his father's post office. There used to be 5 in it. They used to work it.
Yeah.
On the front counters. Fucking sometimes there's only 2 of them, or even fucking 1 of them up there sometimes, and end up there's a massive queue. It builds up, massive queue. Because you've actually put it to the back of the cost cutters, because it's an actual convenience store. But it's quite a big fucking unit. It's like 2 units on one.
So Naveed's doing well.
Yeah.
I'll let you get that one. Naveed, Alex.
Aye, but do you know how they got on? Aye, but the thing is, do you know how they got on in this world? Is because the tax man and the VAT man, or the government, is lenient on the Pakistanis and the Asians. But what they do, the Pakistanis and the Asians, what they do is they send money back to their own country again, and that's how they get it out that's how they get it out of the country. And then what they do is they build up a pot of money, and then they decide to buy a development or a shop or actual units, as in, and instead of leasing them, they buy them outright once they come onto the market. And then then what they do is they rent them out. But the rent is a hell of a rent, as in what they charge for some of these units. That's why I do a lot of the business for the house, because I couldn't afford to lease a unit, and I wouldn't have enough stock. I would either have money enough to pay for the rent and the lease, or as in enough money to pay for just stock.
Sexy.
But the thing is, I don't force anybody to buy anything from me, as in on the channel.
No.
I don't agree with as in forcing somebody's arm up their back. If they want something and it's something that I've got, or something that they're into, and I can get it, I'll try and get you it, as in at a reduced price or at a bargain price you can actually afford. Because that was the whole idea behind the channel. Because there was one time I says to Hazel, I says to her, why don't we call it Everything Everybody Wants? And she went, why would you call it that for? I went, well, we can get anything that anybody ever wanted. I says, you could actually charge a service as in a third party agent, just for somebody to order something off of you and know exactly where to get it, and it be at affordable price that people can actually afford. Because some people are on a tight budget, and sometimes a tight budget is a hard thing to accommodate. But it depends if you're a bargain thrifter, and you've been like that all your life. It's not that you're tight as a duck's. It's not because you're tight as a duck's arse. It's just the way you've been brought up, as in that you had to scrimp and scrape all your life. So you're accustomed to it. You're used to it. So you're always searching, as in on websites or whatever, as in for something that you're looking for at the time. So you know the right places to look, or the right places to look in. Because that was like, remember I gave you the place Wordens, and I says to you about all the t-shirts. Remember you were going to do t-shirts and all that.
Yep.
And I only found them because I used to hunt. What they call it's called the Traders magazine. the Traders magazine, the book is about that thick, and it gives you all the cash and carries, all the warehouses, all under this book. But you have to go through the whole book to find what you're looking for. And I'd searched them and done research on them, but my dad had done research before on them, so he knew all the different ones.
So is it just like the yellow pages or bargain hunt?
Steve, it's exactly like that, but it's for trade. It's actually for market traders. That's what the book was built for. People that are market traders, that actually are independent traders for all these warehouses. It's all cash and carry warehouses, as in you can buy it at wholesale cost. And that's what it's showing Shauna. There's a place called Worden's Workwear. It's all t-shirts and all the rest. Fruity the Loom t-shirts, shirts, you name it, they do it. Trousers wears, all, but it's at really low price, but it's good gear. It is good gear. It's no rubbish. It's no shite. It's good quality merchandise. It's no like it's just plain. It's like plain. It's like plain wear, and that's because Shauna was wanting to put like vinyls on t-shirts. That's what I was doing. I was hunting the t-shirts out for her because I was like, well, you wanting them at a reduced price or at cost price? Because a lot of like Teesprings and that and like Red Bubble, they're like £23 for a printed item. So how much is it costing them an item or a shirt? So they're putting a third or 3 times markup on tap for the customer. Some of the customers are going to pay 23 and 25 quid and 30 odd quid, unless you really want that. So somebody puts on, as in saying Steve Punk on it, you could do it at a third the cost. So you buy a full load of t-shirts, but some people are like, well, you have physical stock. What if you don't sell it? Of course. It's a gamble you take. It's like me buying a whole load of phones. Sometimes I don't know if I'm going to sell them all. But if I put them at a reasonable price and unlock them, do whatever I've got to do with them, put them on eBay, if I don't sell, sometimes if I don't sell, like say for instance, I put two phones in a lot or in a single lot, right? And if I don't sell them, what I usually do is I don't relist them back on. I usually take them back out and I wait until a full load is built up. And then what I'll do is I'll tend to mix them all back up again. I'll mix, as in take the two of them out and remix them, reshuffle them. And so it looks as if it's a fresh lot going back in again. Because there might be something that takes somebody else's fancy and turn and say, I like that phone. I remember that phone. Because a lot of the older retro stuff is coming back out. Nokia are actually rebuilding it at the moment. They're actually rebuilding it. But what they're doing is when they're revamping it, they're not putting the same board in them. They're putting brand new boards in them. But it's the same technology that was in the older phone. Same technology. Some of the models are well desired. But the thing with Nokia is they weren't getting them out in the release time, the release dates that they said that they were going to get them out in, like when they done the 60 series, they were supposed to get them out in like March, and they were pre-ordered. A lot of customers were pre-ordering them, and then because of the faults they were finding, they were backdating the order and couldn't get the order out. So that's how they lost business, because there was customers waiting for the phones coming out, but because there was technical difficulties or flaws in their software, they didn't release them until they were totally happy. They lost sales with it, and then eventually what happened is Nokia sales plummeted. They decided to then sell the company. They sold it over to Microsoft. Microsoft did it for 3 years. They brought out the Nokia Lumia range. It didn't take off. Then they bought it back. They bought the rights back. They actually bought the rights back, but they had to change the company name. So they changed the company name to HMD. Because I've got one of their things, and that's a brand new. That's a brand new Nokia there. That's a G50. That's the G50. That's the
Aye.
G50 one. I was 200. I paid 200, just 240. Paid 216
Yeah.
off a contract, and it was 15 quid. 15 quid thing me. I think it was 16 quid I paid as in to get on the plan. But I actually paid for the phone. Paid the phone outright. £216 for the phone. It's 100. If you buy it as pay as you go, it's 100, 180 that phone. You got to pre-order it. They don't have it in the shop. To actually pre-order it. It's G50 range. But they're doing a lot of the older range, like the 6310. They done the banana phone, but what they done was they put a camera in it. That's the only thing they done with it. They put a camera actually into the phone. Brilliant idea of theirs. But I heard through the grapevine they're trying to get a lot of their retro stuff into the US market at the moment. They're trying to get it into the US market. The only reason they're doing that because that's when if they can get their sales figures up, that means then their share prices will go up. It means then the company becomes lucrative. And that's good if not to make a name for themselves, if they make a comeback, because then everybody will want their phones, the Nokia phones. Because a lot of people, I showed that phone, and like ones, like, do they actually still do them Nokias? Oh, aye. Just no known because they walked away for the system. They walked away for them.
There you go, Steve.
Sorry to interrupt, Alex. It's really interesting what you're saying. Right, I've had this storage for ages. And Alex, when you were talking about t-shirts and like having designs printed on them, I sent one of these to Shauna many moons ago. First time I think I've ever used that term. Sorry it's wrinkly, but you remember the design, right?
Yep. Yep.
The old
I got
logo.
that one.
I can't believe this is an extra large. I mean, seriously? That's an extra large. Bloody hell.
I think actually the colours is well thought out, Steve, and the logo itself, the SP, is really it stands out. It really stands out when you look at it.
Actually, somebody in Australia somewhere designed this for me. Rowan Burdett. He's a DJ. He's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you for a while, Shauna, that Rowan or Roro did this design. Pretty simple, but it works. Well, no longer SP, like PS.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
PS. I forgot.
See, like simple designs. Hi-Ho Silver's a friend of mine's, right? Now, Hi-Ho Silver's for Australia himself, right? Now, he's doing designs on Redbubble, but he was overcomplicating them. And I says to him, you're overcomplicating them. You're making them so they're really as in sort of blowing them out of proportion. And I says to him, it's basically the simple, like the simple designs like that one of Steve's. That'll sell because it's simple. It's simple, basic. Yeah. It stands out well. The colours is right. Stuff like that, as in it catches your eye, sells like that, no problem. Because that's what I do with a lot of the phones. I bring the phones in, I test them. Basically what I do is I tidy them up. If they need a new housing or whatever, I put a new housing on them, or what I'll do is I'll get a donor phone. And what I do is the donor one, I'll take the good bits off the donor one and put it onto the other one, as in make it so tidy, it's unreal. But my father taught me how to do the business, as in how to present stuff. He would buy a motor for the auction, it'd be tatty, he'd take it someplace, tidy it up, and then he'd put it back through the market or put it through the auction, and he'd get better money for it. And that's how he did it. That's how he did the business. And he taught me well, because I started hanging about with him since I was 8-9 years old. So I watched everything that he did, and I used to ask him questions. Why'd you do this, Dad?
Yeah.
Why'd you do it this way? How is it done that way? And that's how I learned how to do it. But my father's not here anymore. My father passed away 2019, but my father is part of the channel. That's why the banner's there. It was his idea with the phoenix rose for the... Used to say about the phoenix rose for the ashes. So I decided, well, let's put the phoenix and let's do the boat. So the boat was originated off of YouTube, which was a banner that you could... You got a banner. There was one where it was like, it looked like New York scene, and there was that one, the fishing boat. And people used to ask me, what is that? What's that scene? Oh, it's such and such on the rock. I goes, well, you've told me. I don't know what it is. I just picked it off of YouTube because I didn't have a banner at first, which looks nice. But my dad was into fishing boats, so I just incorporated the fishing boat and the phoenix. But what happened was I had a young guy come to me and say he was a freelance designer. He came to me and says, I think your channel's lacking. I think it's not your loyal supporters, it's your new time supporters. They'll miss the channel because I think the banner's lacking. I said, well, if you think that is what's causing it, can you design it? Oh, I can design it. So I found out that he was a student or this and blah, 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 how young he was. And I says to him, what should it cost me? Well, how much can you afford? It was a case of, how much can you afford? I went, well, if I gave you £40, would that do it? Aye, that's a fair. I says, well, I don't want something. I says, I'm not going to take a lot of your time up. I says, if you come back with his design, I'm going to see if I like it. If there's something that I'm not too happy with, I'll let you know, and then do it back and forth. But the thing was, when he done the last file of it, he didn't use a background, and the banner was too large. Then when Hi-Ho came on the scene where I'm designing, I gave it to Hi-Ho and says, Hi-Ho, can you do me a favour? Can you find out the reason why this banner won't apply to YouTube? I'm having problems with trying to get the banner to upload. And Hi-Ho says, hold on a minute, I can figure this out. So he then done a background, sent the file over to me and says, try that file. I left it that night. The following day, I decided to put it on. I went back to Hi-Ho and I says, by the way, that worked magic. That's why that banner's staying there. I'm not changing that banner anymore. I'm not figuring about with that banner because the size dimensions, when you're doing it on the banner for YouTube, there's a pixelated size on it. And if you don't get the pixelated size, it won't upload to YouTube. You got to mess about with it to get it on. That's why I won't change it. But the thing is, it's in memory of my... If anybody asks me about the banner, I turn around and tell them it's in memory of my dad. It's so he's part of the channel. It's so he's there in spirit because he's watching over me. As I said to Mum a couple of days ago, I think he's watching over me at the moment. He's helping me at the moment because at the moment I've lost a lot in my ability. I doubt my ability at the moment. My confidence levels went down because I used to be good at selling stuff, but I don't. When I sell stuff to people, I don't force their hand up their back that they have to buy it. But I can tell when somebody's wanting to buy something. I can tell by the way they're acting and the way the look that they're giving me, or the way they're drawing their eyes at me. I can tell.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of building YouTube wasn't to be famous or to earn fortunes for it or be famous. Wasn't that at all. It was the fact of being like a proper family and actually not feeling isolated. So to relate to other people. Because I love somebody coming to me and saying, I'm not so sure about that. I'm looking for such and such. I don't know how to get round about that, or I don't know how to do this. But I don't like taking over what they're up to. I'd rather give them a bit of advice and say, right, this is what I found, and show you the photographic evidence, or show you how I did it, or where I found all the information, and pass you the information and say, right, there you go. And I love when somebody comes back and says, by the way, it worked a treat. Because I'll ask them, how did you get on with that? Oh, I got on magic with it. How did you... I want to know exactly what you did and relate it back to me. So that if anybody ever asks me, well, you can do it 2 ways. There's 2 ways of going about this. And I can then turn around and say, well, such and such actually did it that way. I can prove it was done that way. Because a lot of people doubt you as in they think you're talking bullshit to them. Oh, you can talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk. But I can show you evidence to prove it. I've got proof to show you. If you get proof to show somebody, they can't turn around and tell you you're talking bullshit. Because you're proving it to them. But who do you have to prove it to? You're not proving it to yourself. You're proving it your ability to others, and what you can achieve or what you can do. Because they don't believe you unless you can prove it to them and show them evidence of it.
I've always felt to prove myself to people, but when I was talking to Mum, she said, you don't have to justify yourself ever. You don't need to prove anything to anybody as long as you're happy. You do
That's
what you
exactly
want.
right.
See, this is I get irate because I'm like, who do I have to prove it to? Am I trying to prove it to myself, or am I trying to prove my weight in gold to others? And what am I achieving by it? Do you know what I mean? Am I going to earn money off it? Am I going to get something from them? Or am I even going to get a thank you? Because half the time you don't even get a thank you. Or sometimes you give somebody something, like an idea or something, and they go, it was my idea. They don't even give the credit to the person that gave them the idea in the first place. If somebody gives me an idea and I use it, I'm going to give them the credit they deserve and say, by the way, that was such and such's idea. It wasn't my idea. They gave me the idea in the first place. It's like the one where they done the kick butt challenge. That wasn't my idea. That was Grizz 270 that gave me that idea, and I just went with it. I thought, brilliant idea. Oh, I'm going to try this. He went, why don't you try as in a kick butt challenge and actually get somebody to let you as if you're kicking their ass with the prosthetic leg, and actually video footage it. He says, I think you'll do well with it. I get views nearly every day, as in that the views go up in that with that video, and that's like 4-year-old that video, that same video, the kick butt challenge. I actually re-uploaded it slightly, and then I done one with Mr.
I'm laughing
Stump.
just thinking about it. I don't think I've seen.
I done the other one called Mr. Stumpy, and it's as if he's talking while I'm using the stump leg. My name is Mr. Stumpy. Because I seen that somebody using I seen somebody using a hand puppet, right? And the hand puppet, it was quite funny, right? I seen it on this other channel, and you didn't see the person's face, but it was like a woman's voice, right? And he seen this hand puppet, and I thought, brilliant idea that. And I'm like, well, can I not use that idea? And I'm like, And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, kick butt's been used. It's sort of like when you create something that it sort of goes stale. So I was like, the kick butt's stale now. I was like, right, well, how can we change this up a bit? And I was like, Mr. Stumpy, and then just did a voice to Mr. Stumpy. Because if I'd have put like a stocking on it and gave it some eyes or whatever, and a mouth, probably people would have been in the stitches and went, fucking that thing's talking to you. It is actually singing to you.
Hmm.
But the thing is,
Anyway,
I'm not looking for a video to go
Yeah.
viral. I'm not looking for a video to go viral, Steve. I'm looking to actually press so my ears go up, so I can actually get that tick as Nat Green approval.
I'm just plugging my laptop
I'm
in.
going to have to get going because it's like 2:11 here in the morning. I've got a baby to get up to in the morning or a little bit later. So I just want to thank Steve for the earrings and for coming on, and Alex and Johnny and Uncle Ian and God and Jess and anybody else that I might have missed. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
You're more than welcome.
Bye.
Good to see everybody happy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.